What is up, good people? We back in the building for another one. Come on in. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it. Let's fire this thing up. And I just want to say formally before we get started, Al Boogie, Mr. Al Boogie, says also no 10:30 because it's scheduled to start at 10:30. Says also no 10:30 means 10:50 to 11 o'clock. It means 10:50 to 11 o'clock. You got enough time to grab your coffee. LMAO. Well, guess what? We started at 10:40. 10:30 meant 10:40 today. Get it right. Get it right. Shout out to Al Boogie. I don't appreciate that though. I don't appreciate that one though at all. But I could say without further ado. Well, let's get this thing started. Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What is up? What's happening? What's going on, good people? Welcome everybody to the show. Like to hold up, what we got going on there? Thank you. Like to thank everybody who's in the building. Y'all know how I always do. Shout out to the early bird squads, those that make it in bright and early before we even get things going. Shout out to each and every one of you. We got E Capone in the building. Al Boogie in here says hit the like button on the way in, but after he said hit the like button on the way in, he hit me with that backhanded comment. Also know that 10:30. Let me get this over here so we can well, y'all can see it. I just can't see it, so I gotta pull up my other little screen right here. But he says, let me make that bigger. One moment, because I want to make sure I'm quoting him correctly. He says 10:30 means 10:50 to 11 o'clock. You got enough time to grab your coffee. LMAO. I made it at 10:40. Still a little, just a splash of CP time, but not as much CP time as you're accusing me of. Not as much CP time as what you're accusing me of. I'm here. But shout out to Omega Dreads Gaming Channel. Shout out to Uneducated Lame in the building. He says that's a firm and perpetually no for me. Shout out to you. Shout out to General. I always fumble on this one. General Ismo Washington says, "Let me see. Hell no. To the no. Snuggles came through trolling, says, drop the link. Jada LaRue in the building says, good morning, everyone. Happy belated holiday. Absolutely. K Love in the building. Malcolm in the middle. Shout out to you. Shout out to, is that Ike? Big Ike Ogiamian in the building says he fakes it all the time. Really? The only time a man, there are there are times when a guy will fake it. If you just want to get out of there, you're done. Number of reasons why a guy might be done. Number of reasons why. But if he just yeah. Put one in the chat if you're a man who's faked an orgasm. No, don't do it. But it happens. Sometimes you gotta wrap it up. Sometimes you just gotta end the show. Oh man. But shout out to Ike. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. We about to get this thing started. I'm sitting here doing some things. Give me a quick second. I'm trying to make something make sense. There we go. Doing a little pre-production stuff that made it onto the show. Hold on, because that shouldn't be like that. Hold on, wait 1 second. Wait for it. Why isn't that popping up? This should be a thing, but anyway, it's not a thing, and I can't make it be a thing, so we just got to cut it short. Okay. We got to cut that short. I apologize. 90 people in the building. People still coming in while I'm sitting here fumbling with my phone. People still coming in. All right, we just got to wrap that part up. Okay. Just got to half-ass that. All right, Brother Xavier in the building. Brother Xavier in the building said, the Prophet of Thought series in the building, he says, and my wife better not be on social media speaking on bedroom activities ever. Ever. Man, you ain't lying on that one. About to roll the clip. We're going to get in there, but shout out to Brother Xavier.
Only from TPOT Media. Open your minds.
Shout out to who we got in here. Too cool for school in the building, says VR for the BR and GC fun. Peace. Yeah. Yeah, me and GC are quite the tag team. But LAR was a part of the team. Me and LAR got something coming up on Ike, if you're still in the building, because me and Ike got something coming up. It's supposed to be on Monday. I got to switch that around. Hopefully you can make Tuesday. There was a scheduling conflict where LAR could only make Monday, and you said you were open for the week. Basically, you said your mornings was free that whole week. So hopefully I could slide you to Tuesday, and then I got LAR on Monday coming up next week. Hopefully that works out. I'll send you a formal email, Ike, but if you're listening, just process what I'm saying, but you can respond in the email later when I send it out. A story to tell in the building says, I lie and I say condom popped when I have concluded way too fast. That's one way to dodge that one. Really should just go on and own it. Just say, yeah, bust fast, and what? See, try to gas her head up. Like, baby, it was just so good. No, I don't even think they go for that. But anyway, okay, cool. Ike, thank you for switching that around for me. Tuesday works. Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into this. I'm about to roll some not so beautiful bean footage. I got a lot of good interviews coming up. I am going to be trying to kind of get back into that, getting back into interviewing people, but I'm lazy about sending emails. I was about to hire somebody to basically, send emails and book book interviews and but I didn't get around to doing that. So I just keep telling myself I'm gonna do it myself. So that's what I've been doing. I've been sending out a lot of emails, want to get, a wide variety of opinions and perspectives and all kind of stuff in here, interview a lot of people. That's really what my show was built on. I do want to get back to that. But yep, I got an interview with Lizzo coming up pretty soon. I'm just playing. Uncle Stu, the old man on the block in the building. Shout out to Uncle Stu. Make sure that y'all supporting the brother Uncle Stu and support a story to tell as well. He putting his channel small, it's getting off the ground, but he making some good content over there as well as Uncle Stu. Support the smaller content creators. I'm still a small content creator, even though I did hit 10,000 subs. I didn't want to announce it because people be unsubscribing when they find out you hit a milestone. But I did hit 10,000 subs running. So so shout out to everybody and shout out to Uncle Stu for putting 5 I did hit that 10,000 sub mark. But look, appreciate everybody in the building. This has been a ride and we still rolling. We only getting started. We dot a couple more I's and cross a couple more T's before we get into this thing. But okay, now we rolling. Here we go. Now, because we are, guys and we petty, we gonna roast DJ Envy up a little bit because we petty. But this was a good discussion though. We gonna roast him up because we petty, but this was actually a good discussion. Uncle Stu back in here with another one. Appreciate you. He says, congratulations on 10K. I need you for an interview next month. I got you. Just hit me with the email. My email is in the about section. I definitely got you on that. But thank you for congratulating me on the 10K. I do appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into it. This is the interview where she basically admitted to faking it every time, but there's some nuance to it. Well, not really, but let's go ahead and get into it, and then we're gonna get some commentary on it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna use them as a backdrop to have a larger conversation. This ain't just about roasting up DJ Envy, but let's go.
Relationship, that chapter.
Hold up, where's my headsets? Oh, here you go.
Is about.
Push one in the chat if you can hear. Push one in the chat if you can hear them. I know you can hear me. Push one in the chat if you can hear them.
Faking it in a real relationship. That chapter is about the fact that we got together so young. He was my first. He was my only. And I was very inexperienced aside from sex. Before him, the furthest that I'd ever gotten was second base.
Yeah.
Before him went up my shirt, and I thought that was a big deal. So we were both turtles in our relationship. We waited to have sex till our 1-year anniversary, and he made it very special and romantic. But we were two kids that didn't really know what we were doing exactly, but we had fun figuring each other out. Most young girls, and even many
I'll back up and I'll say this. Because we normally talk about on here, but Jake talking about that you gotta wait for the sex stuff. You don't play by her rules. You don't get on her timeline. She got to follow your lead, provided. And some people draw a harder line than me. I'm not just saying she just got to bust it up instantly, like not bust it wide open instantly. But at the same time, you are in a way submitting to her if she's dragging out some 3 months, 6 month, however long process. If she's dragging that out and you following behind it, in a way, you are bowing down and submitting to her if you wanted it to happen at a different time. But if it's any other moment, if it's any time where exceptions should be made, okay, if she's a virgin and you, for whatever reason, believe she's a virgin, then all right, we can go with that. We'll go with that. That's the only time some exceptions can be made. That's the only time. She's a virgin. They got together. They still together, and that's that. That's when exceptions can be made. But in general, nah, you ain't about to get saved and sanctified and find Jesus when it's my turn. Like the hell. Been busting it wide open. Now it's my turn. Now you want to find the Lord. Nah, don't be going for that one. Don't go for that one.
Out. Most young girls and even many, many, many women, I'm sure so many women can relate, but you don't know how to achieve an orgasm.
Yeah.
A lot of women have no idea what it feels like to have an orgasm through sexual intercourse. They know how to do it themselves or they know how to do it through oral sex, but through sexual intercourse, a lot of women just don't know. Now, if you don't know, how do you expect your man to know?
Mm-hmm.
I especially didn't know. So,
all right, that's fair. Before the problem area come, that's why I said this is a fair conversation. It was a fair conversation in parts. Your girl, you don't. I mean, hey, you know how to play. They know how to play around with the clit area or whatever. Okay, cool. As far as penetration, they don't they don't know, and in some cases, the guy don't know. All right, cool. We got it. When it comes to penetration, she said she was a virgin when they got together, and when it came to her getting off through penetration, she didn't understand what was supposed to make her get off. Cool. It's like I reach across the aisle and I snatch it back. At the same time, if there's penetration and something is inside you, I mean, if a spot's getting hit, if it ain't hitting the spot, you know that, but whatever. There's a such thing as you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So fair enough right there. You don't know what you don't know. I'll just say that. You don't know what you don't know. And apparently he ain't know either. But anyway, here we go.
So we would be intimate and he would be putting his best foot forward. Like he is in the business of satisfying, just all around.
All right.
Just no. I'm talking about your mentality overall.
Just
like,
all around.
just in life. Like he lives to make me happy. And he puts his best foot forward in that realm. So I would see him trying and really going to work. And I'm sure so many women can relate. Like you want to reward that man for that work. And the only reward that you have to offer is an orgasm. But even if
now the waters got a little muddied on when she said that he's all around trying to please her. She was talking about all the other stuff he do overall, everything he do for her. He's constantly like trying to, tap dance and trying to please her. That's what he do. He's an all around pleaser. So I think she was just saying that more or less extends as well to in the bedroom. He's trying to please. He wants to please and all of that. And she see him putting in that work and she want to reward him for that work. So the only thing that she can do in her mind is, reward him with an orgasm, even for all the other stuff. I would even argue, even for all the other stuff you're doing outside of the bedroom, yeah, you're gonna reward him with an orgasm. So she wanted to give him that orgasm, and he wasn't. He wasn't bringing that out of her. Now we ain't all the way at the roasting him up part yet, but just following along. If you just follow what's being said here, she's acknowledging that he's a good man, he's a good dude, he's trying. She's acknowledging that he's trying, and she wants to give him his Scooby snack. That's what she's basically saying. I want to give him his Scooby snack.
I didn't feel it, I would still be performing.
I didn't feel okay. Hold on.
Man for that work, and the only reward that you have to offer is an orgasm. But even if I didn't feel it, I would still be performative. So yes, I was faking it. But once you start, how do you stop? How do
Right.
you find
That's okay. This is where the problem gets started. Okay, it's nothing wrong. I want I want to be as clear as possible on that. It's nothing wrong with her saying that. Hey, he's a good dude. He's putting in work outside the bedroom. He's doing his best inside the bedroom. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to perform. I'm going to I'm going to give him the best performance possible. Nothing wrong with that. Can't knock her at all for that. The only thing you don't do is you don't look in a camera. When I'm assuming 100,000 people gonna see this, that's just conservative views for the shade room. I'm assuming 100,000 people gonna see this. You don't look in the camera and say, "Oh yeah, I'm faking it." That's the part you can't do. But the general principle that, hey, you got a good dude, he working hard for you outside the bedroom. In the bedroom, he trying, but for whatever reason you ain't feel it. I don't care. You put on, you give him the best damn performance ever. Because god damn it, he performing for you. This man is successful, he rich. She don't got to do nothing but look pretty and have sex with him. That's her job. So god damn it, she should be performing. That part is okay. You don't look in the camera with 200,000 people watching and say, I'm faking it for him. And he ain't hitting it right. That basically. You can't do that. No matter what the build up is, no matter, you can't do that. Now, I wasn't feeling Tachia Arnold's question when she said, what can black women do to not aid in the emasculation of black men? I wasn't necessarily feeling that question. I think Angry Man covered it, and I didn't listen to all that he said. I probably heard like 2 minutes of it, but I'm sure he had some insightful things to say. I think Dr. Tia Johnson covered it. I'm sure he had some insightful things to say as well. I wasn't really feeling that because I mean, this is how I look at it. I look at it as in interpersonal relationships. Are you actively trying to emasculate the man that you're with? The whole society, culture, and what's being put out in the public and the image and all of that. I mean, yeah, that matters, but the real emasculation starts at home. But that I don't think that's where I don't think that's how she was taking it. This is the emasculation right here, though. If you think it's okay for you to come on a in front of 300 bumping up the number in front of 300,000 people and say that he ain't doing it right in the bedroom. If you think that's okay, that's where that that emasculation starts. But men are emasculated to the point in this country, in this culture, in this society, to where stuff like that is okay. Like some people will pat him on the head and say, that showed great strength for you to sit there and let her tell everybody that one of the things that no matter how we like it, yes, your accomplishments, your success, and all of that, those are ways that we measure manhood. But we can't deny the simple fact that your sexual prowess or lack thereof is what it is. It's a measure of it. It is, the two raw natural things. Kevin Samuels always used the term fighting and fucking. Everybody else uses a different variation of it, but yeah, that's a part of it. She just can't come out there and just outright say he sucked at this. That's something that got to get handled behind the scenes. But we in a society where it's okay. This is what they want. They want men to be all mamby-pamby and be open and expressive with their feelings. Okay, all right, if y'all want to do that behind the scenes, but publicly, nah, that shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing. I disagree. You say it's never okay for a married couple to publicly discuss their sex life. No, that's not okay. I mean, no. It is okay for people to do that. It is okay for people to do that. I ain't got no problem with that. But it's not okay for a man to sit there in front of 400,000 people and say, oh yeah, my wife, her head game is trash. How much of a goddamn misogynist? Look what Cam Newton just got called a misogynist for. How much of a misogynist would a guy get charged up with? if he just sit there and said, oh yeah, my wife, oh no, he's a goddamn starfish, it'd be dry as hell, or head game trash. I'm just suffering through it. for the kids. That's how this would get taken the other way around. 5 Silver in the building said he probably cries during sex. LOL. Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Said this is sad. Nah, it gets worse.
I'm back out of that rabbit, but once I would still be performative. So yes, I was faking it. But once you start, how do you stop? How do you climb back out of that rabbit hole? You can't really have a conversation about it now. So I actually did it to myself. But what's more important is the fact that it had nothing to do with him. He was doing everything that a man could do to please a woman. The problem was that I didn't know my own body. And
you couldn't communicate what exactly you wanted.
Exactly. I had to learn that first. And what the problem was, I was so busy performing and putting on a show that I didn't take the time to be pleased. I didn't take the time to enjoy it because that wasn't my priority. My priority was him. And that comes from a place where, ever since we're
that's the part I respect that. I respect that. That's the part of it where it's like, I'm not beating up on her for that. Like what she said right there is cool. She said her priority was pleasing him. Where's Game Changer when you need him? Because Game Changer is on record saying he don't care about a woman being pleased during sex. Her job is to please him, and she should get her satisfaction out of satisfying him. So I gotta call it like that's a submissive woman. It is. Now she talking reckless. Ain't no way around that. She talking reckless. He's sitting there with the Will Smith entanglement face on right now. That's that clip, that picture of Will Smith. When Will Smith was at he got that red table entanglement face on. But what she's saying is not terrible. She's saying that she wasn't getting off during sex. She didn't know her body. She was a virgin when she married him. And she said her job was to please him. So she put on a goddamn show. Can't knock that part. Can't knock that part. You can't just come on TV in front of 500,000 people and say you're faking it for your husband. That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
Young, we're sold these false narratives that women are sex objects. Women are here for the pleasing.
All right, we ain't here to just be examining, the looks of the women on the screen. We are here to give analysis and social commentary on the social dynamics between men and women. But fellas, what's your opinion on this trend that I think started about 5 years ago when they start, wearing white, gray, or silver braids with black roots? I mean, we ain't here to talk about that. But just what's y'all opinion on that? I give that I was talking to a girl and she told me she was about to do that, and I was like, hell no. And but she wasn't my woman, so she just asked my opinion. I gave her my opinion. She did it anyway. But it was on you. I mean, I couldn't tell her what to do, but she was convinced that when I saw it, I was going to think it looked right. I told her the truth. No, you look like the Predator's grandmama. Like, no, cut it out. I ain't feeling that. And this is a cute girl. Colorism my ass. That is a cute girl. But yeah, I don't know what's up with that. You can't put some damn gray grandmama braids on some black roots and think it look good. I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know why that's a thing. You said she whack in the face. No, she not. That's a no for me, dog. I gotta get a Randy Jackson drop on that one. I gotta get that. Okay, maybe I don't know what cute means. You said she's not cute. She's like Antonio Gay. Cute just means just above the threshold of average. She's cute. Yeah, she's cute. Okay. She's not average. She's not a 5 facially. Don't look at the braids. Just look at her. Just look at her. Just look at her face. She's not a 5 facially. She is cute. Ain't nothing wrong with being cute. Okay, fine. If you want to say she average, that's fine. But nah. And I look at average, I look at somebody is not they're not necessarily cute, they're not necessarily ugly, they just there. That's how that's how I look at average. Yeah, okay, all right. We ain't here for that. Okay, she 3s and 4s. Okay, fine. That wasn't the damn point. All right, that wasn't the damn point. We just talking about the predator the grandmama predator braids. That's all we talking about. That's all we talking about. Jeez. Well, that ain't all we talking about. We talking about what they're saying. We just had to do a segue. I just wanted to know I wanted to know if I was alone. Never heard a group of men talk about this trend that's going on where they starting to get silver, gray, or white braids. I don't know why that became a thing. Like it's already a no when they go with blonde, but then she went all the way white. But anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point here. All right, let's get back into it.
Of men, women that we're young, we're sold these false narratives that women are sex objects. Women are here for the pleasing of men. Women are toys. You see it on billboard ads. You see it on the cover of books. You see it in, car magazines. You see it everywhere. Sexy women draped across something, advertising something. So we're kind of subconsciously led to believe those things. And for me, this is how it played out in my life.
And everything is all good there now, right?
Oh yeah, he's awesome. I figured out my problems.
Hurt my heart though. I ain't gonna lie. I hurt my heart. I might have cried a couple of times, but
that was kind of vague when the chick asked, but everything's okay. Now, what she was really asking is the sex good now? And you can hear the details she went into when she was describing everything that was wrong with the sex. But when it came to trying to talk about how it's better, oh, he's awesome. But she said he's awesome kind of in the same context. To me, it sounded like the same context where she was just saying he's awesome across the board with everything that he do as a man. So, but the one good part of the conversation that I will keep going back to is that, look, this man is doing everything for her. She don't got to do nothing with her wife, nothing with her life, but be pretty and have sex with him. That's all. I mean, if she got a career, great. She don't need it because he got everything covered. But so when that's the situation, ain't nothing with her saying that, hey, I'm about pleasing this man who's doing everything for me. I'm going to perform. In that sense, you can go ahead and fake it and put on a show and all of that. You just don't come on there in front of 600,000 people and say it. That's it. That's it. That's it. It starts there. It ends there.
No,
it helped our relationship even better.
But on a more serious note, me doing
Let him talk. Damn.
That was very, very detrimental, and it put into effect the fall of a series of dominoes that hurt our relationship in the absolute worst way. It was actually one of the reasons why he cheated.
Mm. So do you feel like
I get that one. If you having sex with her, because like after she told him, and I'm assuming after she told him, that was when she couldn't stop. If she told him it wasn't going right, okay, she told him it wasn't going right. She can't just then, just go back to during sex and making all those noises, and he like, wait a minute, you told me this was fake. Once you tell him, it's like, I know you're faking it. I know you ain't enjoying this. I know it's so yeah. I get that I get that he was like, forget this. I got to go find somebody. And like I've always said, when it comes to sex, it's different strokes for different folks. Literally, one woman may enjoy everything that you got going on. The next woman just might be like, whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. So he wanted to go out and try to, find somebody who could pick up what he was laying down. That's just all it is. That's why that's so it's cool that she has a general understanding of that. But make you wonder what she did during that time when she was faking it. Did she try to figure out a way to go explore with somebody else, and then you don't know, you don't know. And maybe her going exploring with somebody else and seeing what it feel like to get it put down for real is maybe what made her think like, oh, this shit is really a major problem. Because if she was the only one that he was having sex with, if she was the only one, I mean, if he was the only one that she was having sex with, and she probably could have had it in her head because she was a virgin when they met, she could have possibly had it in her head that that's what sex was. Sex just wasn't, this immaculate thing that they make it seem like it is in the movies and porn and all of that. So she probably just could have been like, oh, okay, sex is just this bland thing that he's doing, and that's just that. But she probably went and got it from somebody else and found out that, oh no, it can be actually immaculate like that. Then it became a problem. Then it became a problem. That's a possibility. That's a possibility of which there is no evidence, no way to prove that. But just like that crisis that they had that caused him to step out, data shows she was just as liable to do the same thing. That's exactly what Data did. Found her August. Yeah. 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 But she is saying a lot of the right things. I do like that she's talking about sex in terms of duty. But once you admit to him that you're faking it, then it's like you can't just go back to the duty and you can't just go back to faking it. It's like
So how did that conversation even come about? Like, Envy, were you like, am I not performing enough? Or were you at some point like, you're not performing enough? Or like, how did that come about?
One night we were in bed and we were having sex, and she was just, I remember in the middle of it, she was like, yes, but no. And I'm like, yes, but no what?
Something like that.
Yes, but
ouch. Ouch. Again, some of this there's a such thing as sometimes she just not into it. There's a such thing as that. But watch, just listen what was about to happen here.
yes, but no what? And she was like, we got into like a argument, and then she was like, well, I don't be having an orgasm. She didn't say it in that. She speaks way more eloquent than I would have. And I was like, what? And she was like, I don't. I'm like, no, yes, you do. I hear it. Like, yeah, and then she was like, no, I'm faking it. I'm like, every time? And she was like, yeah. And then that just crushed me because
every time. She's faking it every time. So like I said, there's a such thing as, hey, sometimes you just might not be into it. But it's like every single time. Every single time. Now listen, women, they say they like for men to be vulnerable and talk about their feelings and have these type of conversations and all of this and all of that. But could it be more emasculating for her to sit there and talk about how during sex with him, I faked it every time. Every time. Like, but that's where we're at. Where it is. It's perfectly fine and okay for men to come on there and just do that walk of shame. He getting perp walked through social media. His wife basically telling everybody his sex was trash. Like that's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. They putting the spin on it to where it is. It's a nice conversation, and this is how we grew together, and blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you getting perp walked through social media. She putting you on trial, bringing you before the sisterhood, telling everybody your dick game was trash. That's what she's doing.
was I thought I was putting in work. Like I'm sitting there thinking I'm, Big Daddy Long Leg, you know what I mean? Like, and she's sitting there like, no, not at all. So it really hurt my heart. Like it hurt me because for that time, I thought I was pleasing my wife. I thought I was pleasing, you hear all these stories of women talking about their girlfriend. Oh girl, he was so short. Oh girl, he ain't doing nothing. And I feel like they laughing. Now I feel like that's what my wife was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. But
like, yeah, of course. Of course. She was in those conversations at the beauty shop as well. She was in those conversations at the beauty shop as well, talking about how you ain't hitting on nothing but your money right, but you pay the bills and you this or that, but the sex game is trash. Yes, she was in those conversations, but you let her perp walk you through social media and bring that beauty shop conversation onto a national stage in front of 700,000 people and tell them that your game is trash in the bedroom. Charles Merchant in the building with the $10 super chat. He says many blue pilled males today are fully invested in females that bring nothing in return but a headache. Very true, very true. Even though, based off everything that she's saying here, aside from this, what she did describe is a good wife who was hell bent on pleasing her man, even though she wasn't being pleased. I ain't gonna knock that. I ain't gonna knock that. I'm just knocking the airing it out. I'm just knocking the airing it out. You don't air it out. You don't air it out. Charles Merchant double back says it doesn't matter how much you make her orgasm. She's looking forward to the next one. Oh, of course. Of course, oh, of course. You can meet a woman who's never regularly orgasms, and you could be the king dingling that make her finally start having orgasms semi regularly. And I always say this is we can go back to one of my earlier videos. Go back to one of my earlier videos where I said no matter what you're doing for a woman, once she get used to you doing it, now you ain't doing shit because she got used to you doing whatever you was previously doing. Whatever you start doing, that becomes average. Whatever, when you first started doing it, it was immaculate. It was everything she ever wanted. She get used to it. Now it's average at best. What else, nigga? Show me your next trick. Okay, you did that. You pulled the rabbit out of a hat. Now you gotta cut somebody in half and make somebody disappear. Okay, next, give me your next trick. that's how it go. That's how it go. They will get desensitized to whatever it is that you're doing. No matter it just is what it is. It just is what it is, and you will lose your mind if you're in a constant, perpetual state of tap dancing in a top hat, trying to figure out the exact note to strike to try to make them the exact evenly balanced amount of happy. Like, no, it won't happen. That's why I said she was not wrong. That's why I said she was not wrong when she was talking about how she looked at it like her job was to please him because he's an awesome man doing everything that a man is supposed to do. So she was like, it's my job to figure out a way, come hell or high water, to please him. And so she figured that she's just gonna, put on a show in the bedroom and fake some orgasms. And that's why I'm like, hey, this was actually cool. This was actually cool. It's just the announcing it in front of 800,000 people that you was faking orgasms and faking your moan and faking everything, and the sex was trash. That's the only problem. That's the only problem. But overall, I would say that no, she's being a good wife. She was being a good wife. For those of you that don't know, World Free is when he say, and that's why Game Changer is correct, because Game Changer says he sticks to it that she should get her pleasure during sex from giving you pleasure. Once you start getting that business of trying to give her pleasure, you run the gamut of her getting used to that pleasure and seeking more pleasure, and now she's just a pleasure hunter, and then she, they be going back to the streets. Be trying to get one last call for alcohol, hot girl summer in. That's what be going on. So I get it. But I like to please too. I like that. I like to hand out an orgasm. I like to. Yeah. So, but so I'll never go full Game Changer with it, where he say he don't care, he don't even try. I'll never go. I'll never be like that with it, because I do. I like to. KG like Game Changer is right. Hashtag Game Changer was right. No, I like to do some pleasing. I like to see a woman have an orgasm. That is you stand on the bed and do the Tarzan scream afterwards. That's a good thing. That's a great feeling. But yeah. Those there are side effects. y'all heavy in the chat with the Game Changerisms. He said it depends on it depends on how good she is to me. Man, It's some studies. I was about to bring up some studies. I still might bring them up after I get through the video, but it's studies that show something like, 70% of men or 60% or 70% of men can't tell if a woman is faking it or not, or blah, 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 blah. Look, okay. She can fake, she can fake, she can fake that all she want. You wanna know what she can't fake? She can't fake that wetness that come with like that, you hear that I can't make the exact noise, almost like a, okay. She can't fake that. You cannot fake a noise down there. That is not fakeable. let's make that very clear. Let's make that very clear. That is an unfakeable noise. So, so yeah, sometimes if a chick just audibly loud, okay, yeah, you don't know if she could be faking it, she couldn't, but it's certain things you can't fake. It's certain things you can't fake. A chick damn near desert dry down there, sitting there. Oh yeah, oh. I can't tell if she faking it. You you brushing your junk up against sandpaper down there. I don't know if she was making man, y'all heard her. Y'all should have heard all that noise she was making. Shout out to Mr. Fantastic in the bill. Hey, shout out to you for that stream that you did. I forgot the name of it, but you know the one. You know the one where you kept it real. You kept it real. Shout out to you. That's what we've been missing that. We've been missing that. Real talk. But Fantastic says B Riley with the 1000% truth. Them them top lips can fake it, but them bottom ones can't. Hell yeah. Yeah. Thanks for putting it a lot simpler without having to make the quick noise. Yeah. But no, shout out to Mr. Fantastic. You definitely kept it real and said some stuff that needed to be said in that one. All day. Definitely support you on that one, I got to the point. I keep quiet on a lot of the nonsense, and when I vote with my feet, and I just block. I blocked a certain individual or individuals, and just don't mess with them no more. But so I don't give commentary on it. I just close the gate on certain. If you don't let certain people in, but no, you said some stuff need to be said. So shout out to you, Fantastic. But all right, let's get back into it. Let's get back into it.
Girlfriend, old girl, he was so short. Old girl, he ain't doing nothing, and I feel like they laughing. Now I feel like that's what my wife is doing.
Yeah, but the way that it came out, we had gotten into an argument, and when I was trying to resolve the argument, he tried to slap the Band-Aid of sex over it. I've done that so many times before. Like, let me just give us some.
You know that conversation.
Let me just give us some.
Hold on, man. Now this is where it gets sad. This is where it gets sad because she been faking it during sex all that time. Got him thinking he just putting it down, even though like man, them bottom lips dry as hell. It's dry as hell down there. I mean, she just he ain't figured out that she faking it, but but that's the funniest part right there. She been faking it the whole marriage to where he think he got that dick game where he could just end the argument. Like I'm just about to put it on you. You ain't gonna care about whatever you complaining about after I put it on you. But his sex been trash all that time, and she just been faking it. But he's still trying to. And he still try to use the you ain't gonna be saying that after I give you this bad sex. Oh my goodness, that is just terrible. But again, that's the downside to her being on that. I'm putting on a performance for him. All right, his sex is bad, but that's my man. That's my man. That's my husband. He doing everything right. So I'm about to put on a performance for him. I'm about to give him a show. I'm about to hit a Mariah Carey high note in that bedroom. And then he done it so good to where it done got in his head to where he trying to she's sitting there arguing, fussing at him, nagging at him about something else. He trying to grab her and like, you ain't gonna be saying that after. And she like, no, I'm still gonna be saying it because you ain't doing shit. I've been faking it all this time. So you can't just pull a rank. You can't pull a big dick rank up in here. Like you ain't got it like that. Like like they having that conversation nice. They having that conversation real nice on TV, but was that Adele Givens or some more or one of them that was saying that it's certain things in an argument that when you putting it down or whatever, you got a big thing or whatever I forgot how you worded it, but when you're putting it down, you could say in an argument where you can get loud and you could check her and she's like she'll fall back. But she said, if your sex game whack or your dick little or whatever, she be like, look, she like, lower your motherfucking tone. They giving the nice PG version, but good and well, she had to hit him with that, lower your motherfucking tone. Because you ain't got it like that. She done just full blown. He done got tore to shreds in his own house over this one. He done got tore to shreds over this one. Like they giving the clean version, which they should, but even the clean version is problematic. But the R-rated version of it, when they in an argument and he trying to pull a rank, like you ain't gonna be saying that tonight. You like, lower your mother tone. Like you already know. You already know.
D and shut up. You know that.
I actually think that's the most toxic. A lot of people love.
Oh shit! Here we hold on. Let's back up.
I've done that so many times before. Like, let me just give us some.
You know that conversation.
Let me just give us some.
Take this D and shut up. You know that.
I actually think that's the most toxic. A lot of people love like makeup sex, and in my opinion, I feel like it's the most toxic thing ever. And
stop the cap. I don't know why she fronting. I don't know why she fronting when she know that is a thing where you could be mad at somebody and he could put it down and now you don't care about that little stuff no more. Cut it out. Cut it out. If she want to call something toxic, call the woman toxic who like to start fights and pick at a man and argue with a man. Like she, I think Tommy Sotomayor done did a lot of stuff on this one, but they can't get off unless they mad about something. And some of them operate like that. Go ahead and call that toxic. Go ahead and call that toxic. Dude, we gonna get off anyway, but the ones who do it be the women starting. A woman will get horny and then start an argument. Like we can't like don't call the man toxic, okay? If we horny, we just gonna try to proposition some sex. A woman will get horny and then be quiet for like 3 hours mugging you and then start an argument with you, then y'all get into a whole fight. Don't make it seem like we the ones who be initiating that angry makeup sex. No, that's y'all. That's y'all. Don't, if you gonna call it toxic, make sure you calling the right person toxic. If you're gonna throw that word out there. If you're going to throw that word out there, make sure that you aim that gun at the right person. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying with that one. But then again, there you go. The dude is toxic if he think that he's going to be able to just put it down and win the argument like that. No. It happens. It happens because that was the direction. That was the end, and that was the end that she had in mind. That was the end that she had in mind when she started the argument. Let's not pretend like that ain't a thing. Let's not pretend like that ain't a thing.
And we had quite a bit of makeup sex.
Yeah.
And I was over it that day. So I'm like, we didn't even get to
You ain't gonna be saying that tonight after I put it on you. Then you go to put it on. She's like, nope, I ain't about to. I'm not about to fake like you, like whatever I was mad about done went away because I was faking it on the sex, and I'm faking like I ain't not mad. Nigga, your dick game trash. All right, we just got to deal with that.
the bottom of
Yeah, you got to talk about it, and then you can make up with
Yeah,
the
you have to get
sex,
to
but
a point
can't
of
make up with the sex
understanding.
first, right?
Then you can have happy makeup sex. But I was having disgruntled makeup sex. And
Yeah.
I'm laying there and I'm thinking to myself, like, and then it just came out. So what I did, which was wrong, was I weaponized it. There was a time and place for me to
Woo.
communicate.
Remember when I said? Now I don't even know if I watched this far. When I watched this before, I didn't hear that part. I was operating on assumption and instinct that she was given a nice version right now, but at home, she made him feel 2 feet tall when she basically came at it. When he thought that he was putting it down all this time and his dick could heal all wounds, when he thought that, she weaponized it. And when she said she weaponized it, that's the sophisticated, educated way of saying that I basically hit him with that some more Ordell if Givens, lower your motherfucking tone. Your dick ain't that your dick ain't good enough to be trying to use it as a band-aid to cover over these problems. Fall back, nigga. Sit down and talk to me how I want to be talked to. And let's like she went off on him. She went off on him and let him have it. When she said she weaponized it, that's her saying that she was very bitchy about it and emasculated the hell out of him. And the fact that he would sit there and get perp walk through social media with her basically explaining the shit in front of 900,000 people is more evidence that yeah, she basically cut his balls off in that house. That's her explaining that. And I appreciate, look, she dressed up nice and put on it and presented herself well and trying to say it sweet on TV. That's cool. That's cool. But that's the code language when she say she weaponized it. That's the code language for she was cutthroat about it.
How I, and then it just came out. So what I did, which was wrong, was I weaponized it. There was a time and place for me to communicate how I had felt. There was a way in which to do it. And that is not the decision that I made. I did it to hurt him. I did it to spite him. And it made our relationship that much more toxic because now I have a husband with a bruised ego who's looking at me as a wife who's a liar and who not only lied, but lied to him for years. And in the most delicate.
Now he got perp walked through social media also when he cheated on her, but she's basically explaining that she made a big production at home about how trash his sex was, and she weaponized it against him and used it to hurt him and said horrible, hurtful things. And that's why he just said fuck it. He didn't divorce her because why? He didn't want to lose half his shit, but he went on and stepped out on her, and then he got perp walked for stepping out.
Part of your
How long had you guys been together when you had that conversation?
At that point, I think we were married for. We're in this
That
house
was our Kittle house. It was the other house.
It was the other house. It was when we were on a lease.
Yep.
16, 17, maybe 17 years ago. So we're probably 10.
Hey, I commend her for faking it for 17 years, though. I commend her for faking it for 17 years. Oh, man. She sat on that for 17 years. I can't. Hey. She was being a good little dutiful wife for 17 years. I ain't gonna knock it.
11 years into our marriage. Yeah, you remember where the bedroom.
I just
we
remember
sat
the
there
bedroom
and
in the
had the
house.
Wait, hold on.
conversation. It was into our maybe 17 years ago. So we're probably 10 or 11 years into our marriage. Yeah,
Okay, 10 or 11. My bad. I paused it too soon. She said 10 or 11.
Remember where the bedroom.
I just
we
remember the
sat there
bedroom
and
in the
had
house.
the conversation. It was the house prior to the one that we're living in now. So yeah, no, it was a long time ago. But let me tell you something. It had years of consequences.
Oh my goodness, that's a long time. That's definitely a long time. But you could clearly see the work that you guys have done with your responses and your self-awareness and the the parts, you know, you each played to get to where you are today. There's not a lot of pointing fingers, which I love. So I love that for you guys. Love the Black love come through.
Baby.
Yes, and you guys also talk about questions to ask yourself before marriage, and you give, I think, about 25 questions to ask yourself. For each of you, what would you say is the most important question to ask yourself before marriage for the people watching?
All right. That is the clip. That is the clip. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat room. Anybody wants to come up and get a piece of this conversation. Anybody wants to come up and get a piece of this conversation, you are more than welcome to do so. I will say this though. I will say it wasn't all bad. Y'all notice I keep going up when I say it's the fact that she announced it in front of at this, what was the last thing I said? 900,000, not 1 million people. I don't know if 1 million people gonna see that. But then again, yes, they will. Because the smaller clips of it on Twitter all over. So yeah, 1 million people gonna see that. Easy. The bad part is her announcing that before millions. That is the bad part. It had to be another way to have that conversation. But the conversation wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad because, look, we speak up a lot in this space for, that guy who's successful, who's doing everything that a man is supposed to do. And if it just happens to be the case that, hey, that woman who get that man who's doing everything for her, giving her a whole new leash on life, red carpet rolled out, she getting it, she getting everything that she want, everything that she need. Yeah. If the sex is not quite hitting, on all cylinders, but she's getting everything else that she needs, and she got kids out the deal. Yeah, she can be a dutiful wife and figure that out. She can be a dutiful wife and figure that out. Like I ain't got no problem with that. I ain't got no problem with her faking it like that. I got a problem with her announcing it. That is the only major key difference, the major key problem. I have a problem with her announcing it like that. But we got a caller coming through. What is going on? What is up? We got Lionel 97 in the building. What's going on? What's your thoughts on this? What you got on this?
What's going on, B? How you doing, man?
Doing great.
Conversations like these are always interesting because whenever we talk about, like, as far as sex orgasm, we automatically talk about the women not getting satisfaction, and we often assume that the man's getting satisfaction.
What's the reason for that? We always bust during sex. Well, I mean, there are times, and Ike alluded to it, and I don't know exactly what he meant by it when he said he always fake it. But there are situations, there are times when you, for whatever reason, you just done, and it don't look like the explosion is coming anytime soon. So you just go on and just fake it and get out of there. It's rare, but it happens. But typically for us, sex is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still good. Something about the bread, the sauce, the cheese, and whatever toppings you put on there. It's good even when it's bad. So we don't have those. We typically don't have those problems. But go ahead.
I got you. But even when it's bad, do you hear us publicly outing the women that we were with? Even if whether it was in a relationship or just like randoms. We, like us men, we never do that. But I'm just seeing it's becoming more and more common and okay for women to do that. And in this particular case with this couple, I mean, it may be all well and fun, and she may want it for the betterment of the marriage, but why does it seem like a little bit of get back for him for him stepping out all those years?
You saying the reason that she wanted the covert reason why she want to have this conversation?
Yeah,
about how
out him like that.
Yeah, she want to out him for him cheating. That's an interesting theory. It's very possible.
Subconsciously, it may not be. She may not be doing it overtly, but maybe subconsciously she was.
I see that as a possibility. I can't say that you tripping, because it is something bitter and spiteful. Okay, they can cloak it under, and this is what I was
Mhm.
getting at. They can cloak it under, relationship growth and how we evolved and how we got past this point, and communication and all of this and all of that. But no matter how you face it, no matter how
Mhm.
you slice it, you are perp walking this man through the social media streets, basically saying for
Pretty
11 years his sex was trash, and she didn't exactly give a raving endorsement for how good it is now.
Nope.
You know,
You sure didn't. She only talked about the bad. She only talked about the bad. Didn't mention the good. And
right?
it's just interesting how it's just becoming publicly okay for out men like that. I
Yeah,
mean, now I want to backtrack to Will, but it's just becoming more interesting. We already know the studies that a huge percentage of women don't orgasm and don't even know what an orgasm is. They never felt one. But my problem is like, all right, for those who can't, I'm sure there's probably past issues that have nothing to do with the person they're seeing. But
you saying it's issues that don't got nothing to do with the person that they're seeing?
sometimes I don't think it's.
And
I
no,
think
wait, no, I think you're onto something. Elaborate on that. What do you mean?
what I mean is probably something that happened in their past because some women, I can't say it on YouTube, but
Yeah, no, we get it.
yeah, that have probably been through that because I understand it's what 1 in 4 women actually have been assaulted or
Yeah,
raped.
it's nuance to that. I had that discussion on my last live stream show, but far as full blown,
Yeah.
forcible penetration. Let's just
Yes.
say that. Far as
Yes.
full blown forcible penetration, that's
Yeah.
not 1 in 4, but just some type of sexual assault that could fall
Yeah.
under a lot of different categories. Yeah, that's 1 in 4, but that's worded so vaguely to make the number. It makes the numbers higher to the point to where a girl in middle school, if a guy do it, a lot of us used to do,
Yeah.
walk up to a chick and just grab and pinch and
Yeah.
pull on the breast and then run,
Yeah.
like that counts. Like some girls will laugh and play that off. Some girls like will go cry when they get home over something like that, and that
Yeah.
counts. So
And it
but
can, yeah. And to
so
them, yeah,
yeah,
it
so
counts.
yeah, I don't want to charge up 25 or 33% of men, whether it's 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4. I want to charge up 25% of men with being full blown forcible penetrators.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah, I
so,
understand.
but
No,
no, but but see, this is what I thought you was getting at. I thought you were getting at this right here. When it comes to women, some of them, give or take, depending on how they set up, they just don't. When it comes to penetration, it's not necessarily just the guy. It could be that particular guy, but for a lot of them, even with the best guy they ever had,
yeah.
1 out of 5 times they have an orgasm with the best they ever had.
Yeah. There
Some
are
women are just like that.
yeah, some
So
women are just like that.
yeah,
Some women are just like that because there are plenty of studies that have been done that they just don't, or it takes them a lot longer. Because
yeah.
I was looking at a study right
Not
now.
even necessarily, yeah, a lot longer, but not even necessarily the length of time. It's not like if that particular guy, if he just would have lasted longer, she eventually would have got it. No, sometimes they'll get close and then it'll go away. That happens a lot of times. Like it's so many different variables to the equation because they got a complex setup down there.
Yeah,
So
because it says
they
like,
just
yeah. I'm reading a study right now. It says, importantly, like 69% of women in the study reported that intercourse alone was not sufficient enough to lead to an orgasm.
right. Yeah. And that is what it is. And they got to get it. They got to get it a different way. That's where
Yeah,
clitoral stimulation and all of that comes in and the whole works.
exactly,
And,
and everything and
know,
all the tricks. And
yeah.
that's what the stores are for.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, but yeah, but that is what I was partially getting at. You hit it right on the head. But I was also like what I was mentioning before. There, some of those are part of the reasons, like as far as their past or whatever, something that may have happened to them in their past. And then there's some women that just don't even. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. I don't. We wanting to get into. No, I'm about to get into.
Yeah,
I'll just speak in general. I was speaking.
yeah.
I was
Let's
about,
speak in general.
yeah, I ain't about to. Yeah,
But it's just,
I ain't trying to.
yeah, but it's just interesting to just public outed them like that. In this particular case, with this relationship with DJ Envy, I know one thing: DJ Envy by now never ever try and come at another man or anything after this. Don't you ever open your mouth to one man.
Get
Don't
into an
ever-
argument.
Don't
Look,
you ever try and argue with another man ever? Not after this.
we can't prove it, but Fantastic can know what I'm talking about. When around the time that Aisha Curry went on that red table and said that stuff that she said about not get men, wanting more male attention and this or that. Steph Curry was in the goddamn NBA finals.
Yes.
Was up 3-1 against the Cavs.
Yeah.
After that shit was said, damn well everybody on the Cavs was talking so much shit to him. His jump shot was broke after that shit.
Yeah, for real.
That's part of the reason why the Cavs came back.
That's why he see that. You know why? That's why he didn't win Finals MVP. That right there.
No, they lost. They lost that one.
That was the one they lost. Oh, they lost the comeback.
Yeah, that was a loss. The Cavs
comeback.
came back down 3-1 in the NBA Finals after she made that comment. I was like,
Damn,
you did him in. You did him in. But what's going on, Fantastic, man? Like I said, I don't know if you heard it. I had to shout you out earlier for that live stream you did in your car where you kept it very real. So shout out to you for that, man. Welcome back. We missed those kind of streams. We missed those, but welcome back, man.
Appreciate it, bro. This is my last day of freedom, bro. I got to go back to the floating jail. I go back to floating jail tomorrow. So
yeah.
But yeah, man. Hey, man. You notice the hue of this brother. I mean, this is not a dark skinned brother problem. You notice this?
Oh
man,
no, no, he ain't going there. You ain't have to park it there.
You don't ever see, you know what I'm saying, the dark skinned delegation up here on this sad, not no table, not no carpet, none of this, bro. Again, they be talking all this, oh, y'all niggas some slaves. You're damn right, nigga. You know what a slave do very well. He digs shit up, all right? He definitely gonna dig it up and dig it out. But nah, man, it's just crazy, bro.
Man.
It's crazy, like you said, because they had a issue before about his infidelity. Remember, I think he got, because he cheated. He admitted to cheat on his wife, right? I think we covered that like a couple years back.
Yep, multiple times with Erica Mena.
Yeah, no,
So,
they said that this situation was part of the reason why this whole little situation where she basically, had to tell him at home that, hey, your shit is trash. But she said she weaponized it at home. That's code for she was disrespectful and talked down at him and made him feel, 2 feet tall or 2 inches small or whatever. But she made him feel pretty bad, and then he then he stepped out.
She created her own problem, man. Because like you said, especially your wife, man. Like I said, they got hella kids together. So you mean to tell me all these years I've been, you know what I'm saying, messing up my back and sweating and you know what I'm saying, all this work I'm putting in, and you come to tell me, you know what, I was faking it. Like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
And meant it. Not just saying it for the sake of saying it, but really mean it and then be crazy enough to say it publicly. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wild as it get, man. That's wild as it get.
Watch him at home probably getting starfish sex.
What'd you say?
And he probably at home getting starfish sex again.
Well, that's the interesting part. He probably started getting starfish sex, but for the first 11 years he wasn't getting it because I would say she was being a good wife. This man got money, he's successful. I guess I'll just say he rich. He was doing, and she said that he do everything that need to be done to please her in every other way. So she basically said, I was rewarding him. I was putting on a performance. She was out there putting on a show. She was just moaning, hollering, hitting Mariah Carey high notes in the bedroom, all the whole works. She, that's basically how I interpret what she said, that she put on a show for him because he was a good man and she wanted to give him a good show. She wanted to reward him, but at some point she just said, enough is enough. Your shit is trash. And she was disrespectful about it. That was read within there what she said. She was disrespectful about it. Ain't no way around that. She basically said it.
And they didn't even allude to. Did they even allude to like his satisfaction if he was getting Diddy, or they just made it all about her?
Well, I'm going to assume that because she said she was putting on a performance, I'm going to assume he was being sexually satisfied. That's why I said it ain't all bad. If he's a man and he was a good man to her and doing everything he's supposed to do, I don't care if you're enjoying it or not. God damn it, perform. Shit, I don't give a damn. But that's why it wasn't all bad. It's just perp walking him through social media about the shit. That's
Yeah.
the part that's bad. But
Yeah,
before
that's
we go to Edward Anderson on this, Silver in the building says I'm sorry. All those kids came came from a fake climax. Imagine how the kids feel now. you don't need a woman's climax in order to get some kids going.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll be up in a second.
All right, cool. Yeah, that ain't no big deal for me. That ain't no big deal. So yeah, I don't knock that part. It's just it's the public perp walk that they're just normalizing. Like, just shout out to, not shout out, but acknowledging Jada Pickett. She helped to normalize it. Aisha Curry again helped to normalize it. It's
And
been a
that's what I
lot.
keep trying to tell. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all, man. These are extremely successful guys. Not just successful from a wealth standpoint. These are public figures, and the first thing these women do is make sure they embarrass them. You know what I'm saying, in the public realm. So that's what I'm trying to tell. Everybody think I'm just, bro. I'm not. I'll never be MGTOW, bro. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? But I just have an understanding of this whole marriage thing. I've been trying to tell y'all. I seen it, another big thing too. I told y'all about. You look at this. Another big reason, man, is okay. Black women, especially, specifically, right? So we kept complaining about single motherhood, single motherhood, single motherhood. But what they would do was these chicks, especially since they're having kids at later ages, and I've seen this with at least just I'll say 3 particular situations where a chick will marry a dude, and everybody can see that it wasn't gonna work. Personality clash, age difference, or just whatever, right? Like, bro, what's going on here? She wanted that baby, and as soon as she got that baby, before the baby was even 2 years old, bro, she's gone. It's a divorce. Now ask yourself, if people in the chat, be honest. Everybody think I'm just on. Bro, I've never changed my message in anything I said. I just been telling y'all that, and this is what society is trending towards to convince women to do. So if you have your kid in a marriage, well, okay, you're not a single mom now. You're just an ex. You know what I'm saying? You're a co-parent, but you know what I'm saying. You're using marriage as a way to not get that tag of the single motherhood, while at the same time you get the praise and worship the almighty Sierra and her situation for the single moms. You see what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah,
catch-22 where the women can't lose.
Yeah, they'll use marriage as a shield, but if you look at how short the marriage was, it was not that much different from her just getting knocked up by a dude that she lived with for a couple years. It's really like that's sometimes they be operating like that, especially. Well, I mean, we see it with public marriages with celebrities, but it'd be a lot of them operating like that in the among common folks. But sound like Edward Anderson
Yeah, I'm ready.
Made it back to the mic. So yeah, go ahead, Ed. You got the floor. You got the mic. I take it you saw the clip.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of stole what I was gonna say about the emasculation part.
Yeah, well, no, hey, go ahead. You got it either way.
Unfortunately, when you marry, I mean, this is not really easy to do. But if you ain't got no real ties with a female, I mean, in my opinion, in this society, one of the most masculine ways to really check a chick the way she needs to be checked is to cheat on her ass, to let her know she is replaceable. Now, I wouldn't recommend somebody like Envy or somebody that's married or got kids to do that, because then or a crazy chick to do that. But that's how a lot of these modern women are. Another thing too is earlier on when you were talking about, what it takes for a woman to orgasm. I mean, I've read, like, back in my early days, like when I was younger, I've read books on this as far as the mental aspect of these things. This is why when Roger Curry would talk about stuff like voice inflection and stuff like that, I knew there was something to it, because I've seen other people, I read books, other people talking about stuff like that. The thing about it, your biggest sex organ is your brain. And that's true for men and women. But with men, it's more straightforward, obviously. Yeah. So one of the things that doesn't get talked about is when women try to operate in a man's world. And when I say that, once they started going into corporate America, once they started taking a lot more of a masculine task, a masculine role. Mm-hmm. Let's just, for lack of a better term, talk about the archetype of the quote unquote boss bitch. These chicks are going to need a higher level of masculinity in order to be able to have to fulfill that other component that's need for them to be orgasmic. because they are operating more masculine. And so for in the black community, you don't feel it as much is because we have a culture of your manhood is measured by your ability to service a woman. So some women will come at me and say, oh, well, even before women were going into the workplace and they were staying at home wives, they still weren't being sexually satisfied. That's more in context of the white community, because the white community has a different culture as far as white dudes are like, I'm getting off, it's on you to get yours. The black community has never really been measured through that pretext. Even back in the day, your manhood is predicated by your ability to party, your ability to
Hold
satisfy a
on, wait,
woman.
before you go forward, let's try to tease out something you said. You said in the white community, you said it's more of the guys are more on some, I got mine, I don't care if you get yours, on you to get yours. You saying white dudes operating like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's much more prevalent. I mean, why do I mean they'll tell you it's more prevalent on the, you're here to service me. Not we're here to service each other. See, that's not how that you don't ever hear a you're here to service me as a man situation. Like where men, you don't get to be a black man. And if you say you're bad in bed as a black man, that carries a lot more weight than if you got money. Like a Will Smith. Jada saying what she said with Will Smith, because Jada alluded to this as well. Where Will Smith, quote unquote, isn't good in bed. Now you wouldn't really see a white equivalent of that. Not like that. Not at that level. Because, and I'll even argue, like for instance, it came out like they were saying that about Jude Law one time. But if you're famous and you're all that, they're not necessarily going to get that, because at the end of the day, their culture isn't like that as much. It's more of a patriarchal thing. And black men buy into that part where your masculine is fun. That's part of why white men get mad at black men on the BBC BS, because and that's the value, because you're going to get a better performance. So my point is, I already have that accounted for in case people want to try to say that even back in the day, the stuff was still like that was. Also, this is another reason why women will look at a dude that has multiple kids by multiple different women. And what you're not saying about that dude is he don't know how to have sex. So you may not want to have a relationship with him, but you still might want to have sex with him. That's two different things. But my overall point is, once women started going into society on these masculine roles, that raises the bar as far as what men have to mentally do, because there's a certain level of dominance and submission that a woman has to have in order to be able to orgasm easily. And I've heard women say this. There's plenty of women that will tell you the exact same thing. So when you raise that bar, just like when you raise that bar, you make it harder. And it's always seen as, well, the men are the problem. This is why in the black community, you have this hyper masculine, hyper art typical. Other groups are not matching that because they have other power dynamics to kind of be like, look, it is going to be what it's going to be. But yeah, that's the main point. Now, for them, because they ain't even black like that.
Yeah, I was about to deal with that. Well, Fantastic kind of did. He said that's light skin delegation problems.
No, I mean, well, you got to remember, there's a difference between like they're Hispanic, they got Hispanic, Dominican.
Right,
There's a difference between
right.
like I'm light skinned and I'm black versus they shit, and that's not good or bad. There's the complexities of, just like how Fantastic talking to you ain't the same as talking to an African nigga. But as far as Envy's concerned, at the end of the day, this is the biggest thing I would say with Envy. Envy is one of these guys that he like to try to quote unquote check the manosphere, quote unquote check Kevin Samuels. But at the end of the day, you're not running your own shit. You're not running your own shit, and you've had issues with women on your own. So you got a lot of these dudes that they be throwing rocks, but they be having glass houses. And it's one thing for a dude that don't got a glass house, fine. But when y'all got these glass houses that are easily for us to break down, it's just we gotta dig. And half the time the females will dig for us if y'all make them mad, because women are big about going 10 years in the tweets and stuff and revealing all of that stuff. Envy. Yeah, but like you said, as far as the cheating thing, I look at when you emasculate a black man, it's kind of like Sonic. When you play the Sonic game and then he get hit and he loses all the coins. That's masculinity. And the dude try to get the coins back. That's what cheating is. That's why I understood why Carmelo cheated on Lala. Because when Lala got caught on, technically it's not cheating. When she got caught on that camera on Power, like a type of dude, like you know, when
Hold
she
on,
had
wait.
sex,
I be missing on what happened?
She had a sex scene with the dude that looked like Dwayne Wade on Power.
yes, titties,
It was,
everything, you saw it.
yeah, and everybody, and it was funny because
Yeah, you take it.
Lala, especially people our age, everybody was like, well, damn, I want to see what that's working, and them titties were horrible. So what she did was
Yeah,
everybody was
there
giving
is
her
such a
so
thing as
much.
ugly titties, ladies,
Yeah,
and
man,
it's bad.
it's very, it's
Was
very
they like
bad
some?
to
Were they like
me.
pancakes or what? What was the?
No, it was just saggy and what's the name. So what resulted though is she ended up like the backlash was so bad, bro. Like everybody was clowning on Twitter and just the internet, right? She ended up getting fucking like a boob job. She ended up getting her titties done. Cause you could
Yeah.
see it like I think the next season or whatever. But
What,
yeah,
did she
man.
get implants or did she just get like a lift?
I don't know either one of the two, but she definitely had work
Yeah.
did
I
because
don't
Yeah.
like niggas,
recommend. I
Yeah,
don't.
it was
I don't.
clear work done.
Yeah, I don't
yeah, niggas had
recommend
that waited 20
implants.
some years, Bernard. Niggas waited 20 some years. What was that shit? What was the MTV show she was on? What was the shit called?
I
TRL.
forget. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
TRL.
TRL.
it
Yeah,
wasn't. It wasn't TRL.
Nah, she
no,
was
yeah,
on
it was
MTV
something
No,
different.
you're right. It was TRL. It wasn't 106 apart. Cause see, they used
No,
to
no,
partner in
no.
a lot of
It
different
was
shit.
Nah, that was
MTV.
TRL. She was on MTV.
Yeah, niggas had done waited since they teenage years to see them titties, bro, and just hey, it
It
was
was
a huge
disappointed.
Yeah,
letdown, bro.
disappointed.
Hey yo,
20 years of
it was
letdown.
like what's that? The movie with Russell Crowe, Gladiator. It was like when the dude did the thumbs up and thumbs out. Dude was like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
yeah. I mean, yeah, man, and
But
yeah,
no,
it was.
that was a culmination of I'm glad you brought that up, Ed, because remember before that, and I'll shout out all my hoopers, man, all my NBA fans. Remember, it was a huge thing. I think it was a playoff series between the Celtics and the Knicks when Melo was still with the Knicks, and KG told him, I heard
Tastes like honey nut
tastes like honey nut
Cheerios.
Cheerios. Yeah, I heard
Oh,
Lala tastes like honey nut Cheerios. And he took it serious, and like
yeah, it was
that
pretty
wasn't no
bad.
joke, that wasn't no trash talk. He waited outside, like everybody talked about this. He waited outside the bus for KG on that one, bro.
Yep.
And,
Yeah,
So
and FYI, KG talk. KG is the
Oh
ultimate roaster
no,
in the
Kevin.
NBA.
Y'all remember Charlie Villanueva, right? He had some
yeah,
little skin disease, or he was bald headed. He had no eyebrows,
yeah.
no facial hair,
They
no
yeah.
told him he
nothing.
looked like a cancer patient.
Kevin Garnett called him on the court, told him he called him a cancer patient. Like that's
Yep.
how hardcore KG
Yeah,
shit talking is. So
not
you know
doing
if
that
he
shit in
saw,
today's world.
you know if he saw Lala titties, he said something about.
Well, he didn't even go that far. He just went into like where she was at. But I will say this too. Fun fact, and this is obviously Kevin Garnett's words, so you can take it for what it is. Do you know who he said was the biggest trash talker as far as talking back to him? He said Tim Duncan.
Oh
and,
yeah,
and
yeah. I remember
he
that.
said the thing about it is what Tim Duncan wouldn't be as like gutter as he would be, but it would be on some, he'd be more like sarcastic about it, but
Yeah.
still because he got you.
Yeah, he said Tim Duncan. He said Tim Duncan talked trash without talking trash. He wouldn't say anything. He would
He said,
talk
"You
mad
good?"
shit to him and he'd bust his ass.
He'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Nice try."
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
nice the nice guy, the nice guy talking trash, just to let
Yeah.
you know there is a way to be a nice guy and still talk that shit for y'all out there that's holding
Yeah.
out hope. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but-
man, so when you lose your masculinity, niggas be wanting to get them points back, especially if you a dude like Carmelo. Because I remember, people forget, these dudes in the NBA and NFL, they were the man their whole life. Like, especially, remember, people forget, yeah, he didn't go in there from high school. He went to Syracuse, but please, he might as well have. He had that one year.
Well, no, he won a
they won.
championship at Syracuse his freshman year.
So my thing is,
the man.
he decided to go to Syracuse, but he could have went directly from high school. So my thing is, he's always been that dude, and when you're that dude, like, that's not something. And then remember this: Lala is older than him by like 4 years. People forget that type of stuff.
Oh yeah, she is.
That too. If y'all
But
go
that
back
didn't
and you
spill
look
out
on,
though. But the only reason that
But no,
spilled out
if you-
was because he
Hold
not
on,
because
line.
he got
well, no,
that.
just real quick.
Yeah, go.
Well, if you guys go back and you get the history of that, people told the history of how Lala got Melo, just like Ed said, and that's why you gotta tell these brothers all the time, man, bro. You gotta be careful when that chick is older, bro. When she's older than you, no matter how big your prestige or whatever it may be, bro, that experience is a motherfucker.
Yeah, she was like
And
25,
yeah,
20.
and Melo is just this dude coming straight out of high
19,
school,
20.
college, going googly eyed all over the girl on MTV, because at that time, shit, Lala was like, the only black chick that's even ever even been on MTV like that. You think? Even though I know
Yep,
she like
because you had her, you
Spanish.
had Egypt,
Yeah.
you had what's the chick that
Yeah.
Kaepernick is with? Because that was another one.
Nah,
She
Yeah.
came a little bit later.
Yeah, in
And then you had,
general,
niggas that like the ass had free, but you don't get to see
Yeah.
that because you always sitting her
Yeah,
ass
but not
down.
Nah,
not
but
on the
going back to
MTV
that,
though.
like being on
overall
TV,
in general, I just think it's a dumb move. Dudes be trying to wife up their celebrity crush. I mean, if you could leverage your celebrity just to get at her a little bit and have a little thing with her, but
Yeah, Dwayne
they
Wade.
they will blind themselves to her personality, her real life personality, and everything wrong
Yeah.
with her just because. I mean, shout out to Dwayne Wade. He
I-
he
Yep.
saw he was in college when Bring It On came out. I think
Exactly.
he was probably in high school when Bring It On came out, and he was watching Gabrielle Union, had a crush on her since then, and then went on and wiped her up, even though she was 10 years older and apparently weird as hell. But but
And
anyway,
I'm convinced, Russell Wilson had Sierra's poster, and when he was at NC State, cause think about it, it lines up when you look at when he was in college and Sierra was at her peak, fame, all of that, it lines up. I'm telling you, yo, if you look at a
Well, he
lot of
said
us,
it.
yeah,
He said it.
he said it in
All
that post.
he said it.
Yeah, he said it a while ago on some podcast he was on.
I told you because I said that way back when. And Usher was like one of the progenitor of pulling that bullshit too. Usher used to stay with Chili the 10 years, so he was one of
But
the
Usher
originals
has
pulling that BS. Yeah.
But all right, hold on real quick. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell in the building. He says this comes right after the Tachina Arnold statement. I referenced that statement earlier in the show. He says the irony of the situation. First, it was Jada. Now it's this woman. Yeah. That's we referenced all of that earlier in the show. But real quick, the reason I wanted to bring GC up here, I can't see you now. Hold on, there you go. the reason I wanted to bring GC up here, you was getting shouted out a lot at the beginning of the stream. Did you hear the conversation the DJ Envy and his wife had on the Shade Room?
Yeah.
By any chance?
And yeah, peace out.
No, I
about
didn't.
out.
All right, I'll play.
Peace,
All right, yeah, peace, Ed. I'll play a little bit of it because everybody was they was using it as a moment to say it was a lot of game changer was right in the chat room. I actually play a little bit of this again, and you'll catch the part. Now, just the backstory of what happened is that she more or less outed him and said that she was faking it in the marriage for a long time, like 11 years. She was faking it. He had no idea. So she basically outed him, and they tried to make a good Disney friendly conversation about it, but no matter how you slice it, he just getting perp walked through the streets for having trash sex. But either way it go, she outed him on that. But like I was saying, and you probably catch it too, it was some good things that were said by her in the midst of this. So let's I'll roll it from here. Just a little backstory. She was saying she was a virgin when they got together, and she didn't know her body and her sex and all of that stuff. I mean, not her. She didn't know her sex. She was a virgin when they got together, and she didn't really understand how to please herself. But what she did, I'm just gonna play it from there.
So we would be intimate, and he would be putting his best foot forward, like orgasm, sexual intercourse, young girls, and even many women. So many women can relate, but you don't know how to achieve an orgasm.
Yeah.
A lot of women have no idea what it feels like to have an orgasm through sexual intercourse. They know how to do it themselves, or they know how to do it through oral sex, but sexual intercourse, a lot of women just don't know. Now, if you don't know, how do you expect your man to know?
Mm-hmm.
I especially didn't know. So we would be intimate, and he would be putting his best foot forward. Like, he is in the business of satisfying, just all around.
All right.
Just no. I'm
right.
not. I'm talking about your mentality overall,
Just
like
all around.
just in life. Like, he lives to make me happy, and he puts his best foot forward in that realm. So I would see him trying and really going to work, and I'm sure so many women can relate. Like, you want to reward that man for that work, and the only reward that you have to offer is an orgasm. But
Yeah.
even if I didn't feel it, I would still be performative. So yes, I was faking it. But once you start, how do you stop? How do
Right.
you climb back out of that rabbit hole? You can't really have a conversation about it now. So I actually did it to myself. But what's more important is the fact that it had nothing to do with him. He
Right.
was doing everything that a man could do to please a woman. The problem was that I didn't know my own body. And
You couldn't communicate what exactly you wanted.
exactly. I had to learn that first. And what the problem was, I was so busy performing and putting on a show that I didn't take the time to be pleased. I didn't take the time to enjoy it because that wasn't my priority. My priority was him. And that comes from a place where, ever since we're young, we're sold these false narratives that women are sex objects. Women are here for the pleasing of men. Women are toys. You see it on billboard ads.
They are.
Of books. You see it in, car magazines. You see it everywhere. Sexy women draped across something, advertising something. So we're kind of subconsciously led to believe those things. And for me, this is how it played out in my life.
And everything is all good.
All right.
Yeah.
I know you pull a lot from that. So go ahead. You got it.
Okay, so they both were brainwashed by society. Basically, they both started off following their nature, and that is for her to sexually please him. That's it, that's all. However, he was worried about this whole am I pleasing her? Am I pleasing her? Am I pleasing her thing? And that's because society, is telling men something different. They're telling us that we have to be these, especially Black society. Shout out to Edward. Especially Black society is telling us that we have to be these, mandingo sex goddesses or gods in order to I don't know, be a man or something like that. That's ridiculous, and he fell into that, and that's why he became like this, this hyper pleaser, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When really it was clear, it's in her nature. She's supposed to be the one pleasing you.
Now that was the key part, though, that while people was bringing you up, because you on the record saying you don't care about pleasing a woman, she should get her satisfaction out of pleasing you. So even though it's wrong that she perp walking them through social media streets talking about how bad his sex was, that's horrible. But and then they show later in the stream that it was like 11 years before she said anything. She basically said she was performing. She basically put all her focus on him getting pleasure out of it. So she put on a show. She I guess moaning, doing backflips, whatever she had to do to make him feel like he was the damn superhero in the bedroom. She basically said for 11 years she wasn't getting no pleasure from his penis, as you say. She wouldn't get no exact physical pleasure from that. But she was like, "This is my man. I'm married to him. He's a good, solid man. He take care of everything. I don't know how to do my own individual pleasure, but I'm about to be all about pleasuring him." And I was like, for that, I was giving her a slow clap for that one, but apparently it went left somewhere.
No, I mean, the thing is that he set a standard for himself that he failed at. The only failure that he has is to himself. He's the one that created that standard. He's the one who felt the need to, he felt some type of bravado. He had to prove himself to her. And I don't understand why. It's not like the whole point in sex is my sexual pleasure. I don't see why, and she understood that. She understood that, the purpose of doing this is to please him. She understood that, and now they're saying, maybe I should get pleased too. Who came up with that bright idea? They did, and now it's causing problems. They could have started off with no problems. He was getting pleased, and she was getting the pleasure from pleasing him, and that would have continued on to perpetuity. However, they introduced something weird. They introduced something very strange, and that is the concept of mutual pleasure. That's ridiculous.
All right. So
before you go, B, I just wanted to say I'm gonna drop out. You guys have a good one. Take care. Okay.
All right. Peace, man. Peace. Thanks for coming up. So, damn, I forgot where I was about to go with it.
But Brenda said it best. She understood the assignment, but she switched the assignment. Absolutely. But see, he aided in. Ultimately, she wants to please him. And what he did was he said, okay, I can't be pleased unless I'm pleasing you. Now she has to please herself in order to please him. It's still, it's creating this ridiculous quagmire. It's like, listen, stop putting the burden of, stop putting that burden on yourself, fellas. Y'all putting that burden on yourself of having to please her, because now she feels the burden of having to please herself in order to please you. It's ridiculous, just get pussy. Like, I don't know why that's so difficult. Just embrace her desire to please you. That's what they were made for.
Well, okay, this is what happened, and the tape later explained this. When she finally, had to come to Jesus, talk with him about how his dick game was trash or whatever. She said she weaponized it against him, and and used it to hurt him, but and everything like that. And that was part of the reason why he cheated. And I can't prove it, that her being a virgin and this is being her only understanding of sex and what sex was, even though she probably see movies and women just moaning and all of that stuff like that, but she probably could have assumed that, okay, that's just fake, and I'm just going to put on the fake performance as well, which she was doing. She was putting on a performance and it was fake and everything. But this is my assumption, is that when she got to the point to where she wanted to feel a real orgasm and this or that, and she couldn't get it from him, my little theory is that she probably got some pleasure somewhere else and was like, okay, this is it. This is what it is. Now I got to go address it with him. Because before that, she didn't know. So my theory is that she went and got some pleasure somewhere else, and now he gotta, now it's like, okay, you got to step this up. You got to give some pleasure. And then she got disrespectful with him about not pleasing her. And then he stepped out and found somebody who wouldn't on that shit. But my thing is, she stepped out too, in my opinion. So the mere fact of her seeking this greater level of pleasure or whatever is the spiraling downfall of it. Even though I will say that when it comes to sex, yes, I do like to please. I like if she has a leg shaking orgasm. Yes, I like to stand up on the bed and do a chest beating Tarzan scream. Yes, I do get something out of that. So, however, it does speak to the fact that when they are overly focused on their pleasure and not keeping an eye on the prize of everything that this man does for her outside of sex, that puts them in a situation where they operating like men and they moving like men and they doing what men do. And then now it's just it turned into just a big free-for-all that we got, where she was in the perfect situation. She was in the textbook situation where she married her first. And the sex is what the sex is when you marry her first. But you have no concept of nothing else. But so my thing is, she went out seeking concept of something else. So she read too many books, or she listened to too many people, and then it was like, no, you got to, that just basically just flip things upside down.
Well, I mean, it's this flawed notion that women are meant to enjoy sex the way men do. It's a very flawed concept. I mean, and even if they are physically capable of enjoying it the same way, which they probably are, they're just not socially.
They are.
Yeah. No, I understand. They're just not wired to do that. Like, it would be unhealthy for them to enjoy it the same way, because they must practice restraint. Men, we're restrained by society. We're restrained by, Megan Good, Rihanna, Chloe Bailey telling me, no, you can't have this pussy. That is our strength. That is our restraint. That is our limit. However, a woman who seeks sex as aggressively as men do, is ultimately going to be for the street, as a man would be for the street, if he had the sexual availability that women had, I mean, how would you be? Would you ever settle down? Would you ever do anything if 95% of the women said yes to you? Like, would you ever be able to get anything done or accomplished or anything? Like, you just walk up and yeah. So I mean,
if 95% said yes, yeah, I'd probably be living in a box, fucking 95% of the women in that box.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a reason why they can't be out there like that. Why they can't embrace that part of their nature in order to be, a sufficient woman. They just can't. And these women who talk about, oh, I need that good wood, I need that good deed, it's fine. And I guess if you can give it to them, then that's great. But there's consequences to women like that long term. And that is that they can get it anywhere. They want variety the same as we do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's why don't even focus on that. If she can't, the only pleasure she should be focused on is the pleasure that she received from pleasing you. If she's receiving physical pleasure from sex, then that becomes extremely problematic. It does. I mean, they introduced something bad. I mean, it's bad. It's nothing wrong with her faking it. It is something wrong with her saying that she's faking it, because the whole point of faking it is to build his ego and increase his performance and increase his pleasure. That's the whole point. The fact that she said that she's faking it, she was looking to reduce his pleasure at that point. She's like, I'm looking to break the illusion. I know this illusion of you pleasing me gives you pleasure. I want to break that illusion. And even if she did it privately, never mind if she did it publicly, even if she did it privately, she wants to break that illusion and take away from his pleasure. That is problematic.
Yeah. We're going to pass the mic to Nigerian Flex, and I'm going to go refill my coffee, but I'll be able to hear you while you're talking.
All right, so I'm about to. I'm just want to say something real quick and then head in.
Hold on. My bad. Wait. All right, now go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think she's a virgin. I mean, I don't think she's a. Yeah, maybe she never got penetrated, right? But she's been pleasured in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because, like what you said, if she is a virgin and she doesn't have a concept of like orgasming or being pleased and things of that nature, and your first is your first, then I don't see any reason why she would say at any point in time, hey, guess what? I'm not having fun. Because this is the only person that you know. It would be like you live in a world with roller coasters. All you know is roller coasters. And then all of a sudden you say, hey, I want to get on a Ferris wheel. You don't have any concept for anything other than what you have. And so when she says when we say that, well, when Bernard said that she's a virgin, or I guess she said she's a virgin, because I actually missed that part. I personally don't believe it. I believe it. I believe she's a virgin in the way that women say that they're virgins. But I don't believe that she was. I believe that she was sexually active in some way, shape, form, or fashion. My biggest issue, because I didn't get to catch the whole video, so I'm actually speaking to the optics for the most part. My biggest issue is kind of what you were talking about, Game Changer, how she let the cat out the bag, and on top of that, where she let the cat out the bag. Like I don't know why DJ Envy just wants to be, I guess like a Will Smith clone. With the whole Red Table Talk thing, he went on the apology tour when he cheated on her. Now he's going on the whole please my wife tour.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it makes no sense for a woman whose joy comes from pleasing her man. Actually, let me say that differently. It makes no sense for a man who your woman told you her joy comes from pleasing you to then therefore go on a public forum and let the world know that my dick game is trash.
Well, he's the guy from the Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah.
So he is that dude. He's already presented himself as just a stereotypical simp, and I don't like to use that word, but it applies in his case. He introduced himself to the world as that, and as a woman pleaser, and I do this for the ladies, and I do this for the ladies. So yeah, she understands that how much his ego is tied to that, and this is a deliberate attack at his ego. This is a deliberate attack at the way he views himself. She's doing this on purpose. She's become ravenous. She's basically she has a taste of hold on.
Well, go ahead.
No.
So,
she has a taste
this
of.
This is what.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead, GC. Wait a second.
No, she humiliated him. She had a taste of degradation. She has a taste. She received a taste of I don't know. Her sadistic side was accessed, and now she is weaponizing it against him just for fun. He didn't do anything for her to do this. She just, she now feels the power that she can. Now, I want to address Annette in the chat room. She says, only selfish men think like GC. You damn right. Now you see, here's the thing. And here they don't understand the meaning. You're talking about sexually selfish. Yes, I am sexually selfish. And if you want a man to lay down and die for you, you do your part and expect him to do his. If you want him to work in some god awful coal mine, or die in some ditch in Iraq, then you do your damn part. I'm a man, you a woman. You think what? It's my job to please you. What, you want a harem or something? You want me to put on some man lingerie? Fuck that. No. That is why panties are called panties and drawers are called drawers. It's because you are to please me. The hell y'all come with? Where's this notion coming from? We just discovered that y'all had a clitoris like in 1920 or some crap like that, and which means we spent all of human history not giving a shit. That's your business. There is no other sexual pleasure but the pleasure you get from seeing me pleased.
And in the part of the world where the men are still men, when they discovered that women had clitorises, what do? They cut them off. I'm just playing. No. I'm just playing.
No, they do that because they know that.
Like you playing, but
that did happen though.
Here's my issue because Bernard touched on it. Bernard touched on it. Like I agree with GC. I at the end of the day, men want to please women anyways. Like that's the reality. Men want to please women anyways. The issue is that women want to explore all the dick that they can so they can get the optimal pleasure that they're looking for. Right? So if you're like DJ Envy's wife, and well, prior to her, I think she finna get into a hot girl summer pretty soon. My personal opinion. But if you're like her, prior to, I guess, her, sexual activity, prior to she becoming a demon or whatever, and you're the girl who's like, hey, I just want to please my man. Guess what? That man takes care of you. He gives you a house. He makes it to where you stay at home mom. He takes care of your kids. He stays with you. All those things. And up until the point, not condoning this, I actually don't think he should have did this. Up until the point where if he does what he calls a mistake, he will go on an apology tour for you just to make you look like the good guy and him the bad guy, right? So, like this is why the manosphere exists. Women don't understand that if you just give men what they want, then you don't have to worry about anything else, right? You ain't gonna get 100% of what you want, but you can probably get about 80, 90. You'll get more than what you're getting right now, right? So that's my only issue. Into the GC, what you said earlier, I think the word that you're looking for is a siren. I don't know if anybody read I think that's how you say it, but anybody read Odyssey? Like the little the monsters. Yeah, the monsters that would be on the lake and they would sing to the sailors, and as soon as they come, they look all beautiful, and then they'd like kill them. That's what she reminds me of. Like she's slowly singing him to sleep and just like destroying him in front of the world, which he's doing it, to himself. He has a big role to play in it. But that's kind of how I look at her, Gabrielle Union, Jada Pinkett Smith. The list can go on. Angelina Jolie. They all look like beautiful women that when you get to them, they slowly suck your soul out, and then you just become an example for men not to be, and what not to be.
And that's their goal. I want to point out something. Amadi said something. He said, "Game Changer never made a bitch." Listen, the ones who did were probably faking it. You think I give a shit? I do not care, because you want to know what? She made me come, and that's the whole point of sex. Babies will be made whether she comes or not. Babies will not be made if I don't come. That's how that works. It's in the nature. Like the orgasm that you feel is the celebration of a baby possibly being made. And she feels it when you come because it's her body is celebrating the possibility of a baby being made too. Everybody who watch porn, men and women, look for the money shot. They don't care if the woman squirts or something like that.
Where's the pearl necklace?
Yeah, exactly.
And even to your point, like the reality is this, like what you said, If a man comes, then the woman is now impregnated. She has a baby on the way.
Wait, hold on, real quick, GC. Hold on, wait. You gotta mute up when somebody else talking. Unmuted at your own leisure. You know, whenever you want to jump in and interject or whatever. But yeah, just if you're going a period of time without talking, yeah, mute up because it's a little back. I think it's only when Nigerian Flex is talking. Some y'all wires aren't quite crossing. So, but go ahead, Nigerian Flex.
I was gonna tell you, Nigerian Flex, that thing you're talking about, they're called the sirens.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yeah, thank you. So like when a man has his climax, a baby is born, right? Like in the proper context, you know, whatever. A baby is born, right? And that's where the woman's second, I guess like primary, secondary, how depending on the woman or whatever. That's where their other joy comes from, right? For the next 9 months to 18 months, for however long she has a child that she can take care of, right? That's how most women operate. The minority of women say to themselves, no, this little 30-second whatever orgasm that I had is the optimal goal that I need to be reaching for when it comes to relationships, right? Which is why most of these relationships for them fail. I got a homegirl right now. She once told me that she will not that this guy that she was rocking with, he had money, he was good to her, greatest man ever, but his dick game was trash. And I'm like, dude, you're getting up in age. You keep saying you want a family. Why don't you just quote unquote settle for this man if he's that good? What she said is what everybody else says. Well, all the other modern women say, well, I just couldn't see myself the rest of my life going the rest of my life with, you know, a man that's trash. And I'm like, Nick, you got, what's the name? Bandman Kevo, he got honey. It's all certain things. It's all sorts of things that you can do to just, what's the word I'm looking for? Supplement what he's lacking. Right. But you're willing to go a whole lifetime, miss out on this dude who's probably going to take care of you for the simple fact that he can't give you the desired experience in your, you know, in your 30, in the time that you laying on your back. Anyways, I gotta go.
I mean, I'll say this before I pass it to Azrael. Shit, I'm hoping I got your name. Hold on, wait.
No, it's all right. It's all right, but no, you got it right. Don't.
Okay, cool. But before I pass to you, look, there's a such thing as there's some women I've messed with. I'm not even gonna go into the details of it, but there's a couple women I messed with. We just weren't sexually compatible. It just we tried and it whatever. Like that was one of those. I didn't even get one off.
That happened to me.
That was one of them situations.
Yeah,
that was one of them situations we talked about. We talked about at the beginning of the show that sometimes the dudes fake it. Well, you know, I ain't fake it on her, but that was an appropriate time to just wrap this shit up. But anyway, other than situations like that, my thing is like y'all could work on that shit. Like that's my thing. I can't see two people over time trying whatever is lacking, them not figuring it out, provided that they're in the business of figuring it out. I know GC, I know your position. You say she's just be figuring out how to please him and don't be worrying about her pleasure. But either way it go, I don't see how two people together for a long period of time can't figure out what each other like or how each other like it, unless it's just completely 100% just physical. Like it's something that, like, you know, it's shit just too short to hit whatever spot you need to get hit. Okay, unless
so
okay, go ahead.
I figured out what men should start saying.
But sometimes, a lot of times that's really not it, though. A lot of times that's not it. It's something going on in the procedure of the sex that's happening, you know. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, if two people are trying to figure it out, it's going to be more confusing than if one person is trying to figure it out. Listen, imagine if you're walking down the street and somebody's walking towards you, right? And you want to, you know, evade this person. So you move to the left and then they move to the right. And then you're like, oh, and then you adjust and then you move to the right and they move to the left. And then y'all just kind of like do that dance. And, you know, that's what's going on. However, if one person continues to walk straight and the other person moves to the left, then you have order. You can walk past each other properly. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
right? There has to be some type of order. Only one person needs to adjust themselves. If both parties attempt to adjust themselves, then it causes confusion. And
Yeah.
the woman needs to adjust herself to the pleasure of my penis. If you are the type of woman who, if you are the type of man who needs to feel like he's pleasing a woman and a woman is not pleased, then by all means fake it and continue to fake it indefinitely. Like your fakeness is giving him pleasure, and your pleasure should be from him from him getting pleasure.
That was the one thing that was good about the video where I couldn't knock it. She said she was with a good dude who did everything right. She just wasn't feeling the sex. So for 11 years, she just put on a performance for him. I got to look at her and say, hey, that's a dutiful wife. I can't I couldn't knock her for that. Now I don't know what got into her where she think is okay. Well, one where she thought it was okay when she did bring up the issue. I know you got a problem with her bringing it up. I don't got that as much of a problem with her bringing it up, but she said she admitted that she did it disrespectfully in the house, and now she perp walking them through the social media streets about the shit. That's where it's like, shit, that's a whole shit storm right there. That's wrong. So, but there's a such thing as bringing it up and trying to work on it. I know you disagree with that, but the fact of the matter is, the damn I can't listen. I applaud her. I gave her a slow clap for she got a good man who's successful, got the money, doing everything right. And she said the one thing that he need from me is physically speaking, just look pretty and have sex with him. And yeah, she raising the kids and blah blah blah. She probably got some kind of career or aspirations or something. I don't know what she got going on. The fact of the matter is she don't gotta have all that going on because he rich. Only thing she got to do is look pretty, perform sexually. And she said, she rolled up her sleeves and said, I'm going to perform. I'm not really enjoying this, but I'm about to do some monkey double back flips, even though I'm not getting pleasure out of it. And I gotta give her a slow clap for that. I do gotta give her a slow clap.
She was getting pleasure from it, Bernard. The pleasure she was getting was the pleasure of pleasing. That is in a woman's, that's why she did it for 11 years. She didn't even know that there was supposed to see there women out there, the sisterhood, feminism, or whoever, just society at large, are creating this mythological, type of pleasure that probably exists, probably don't, but they're basically saying that there is a certain level of pleasure that you are not, receiving, and they're trying to make women like, "Ooh, I want that. There's something out there that I'm unfulfilled." No, you were perfectly adequately fulfilled in the pleasure that you receive from pleasing. Don't listen to these other bitches.
Right on. Stronger Cypher in the. I'm gonna go to you right next, Azrael, right after the super chat. But Stronger Cypher in the building with the $10 super chat and bringing back the drops in the clip. What'd you get for $10 around here?
What do we get for $10? Everything you want. Everything. Everything.
Thank you for dropping the $10 on it. Stronger Cypher says, I have a girlfriend of mine's who just said the same thing about a dude she is seeing. She said she hasn't sampled him yet, but if the D game is trash, she cutting him off. At the same time, he a good dude. Yeah, that's Not shocking.
Well, that's another thing. Like, pussy is almost always good for us. Do you know? Like,
I brought that up early in the show. Pussy is like pizza; it's good even when it's bad. But yeah, we'll go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if women are out there looking for good dick, do you know how many times they have to sample dick? Like, they have to just go around from dick to dick to dick to find the best one. Like, this shit is no. Women who look for physical pleasure from sex, I mean, listen, and then they complain about my dick. Oh, so what? I mean,
it's funny that you mentioned that, Game Changer, because I make sure I keep receipts of after I smash chicks to say like, damn, it's good, so that if they come back and say that they were capping, I'm like, nah, I got multiple receipts of you saying like it was that I was on point and that you wanted me pull up, can you come over and whatnot. But here's what I was gonna say. This.
Oh, wait, bro. How does that work? Do you what you asked him?
Oh,
so how was the dick? And then you pull out your phone and you're recording.
Nah, I keep all this. I keep all the screenshots of them saying like, "Oh, you come? Can you pull over?" Like, "Oh," or like, I don't want to get too graphic, but like they were like, "Oh, my nipples hurt. Can you come over? Can you pull up to the crib real quick or something like that?" What I'm saying is like, I make sure that if any of the case what happens, because basically what I'm pointing out is this, that the emasculation is the new black. Women will say the first month you meet them, like the sex would be good, they be feeding for the sex and whatnot, and then you do something that's off to them, or they get jealous, or they find out you're talking to another girl, and then they come back like, oh, his sex wasn't anyway, like it wasn't off, it was whack. Like I had a
See.
situation where I was digging this chick out, whatnot. She was super clean. She found out that I gave a bottle of wine to one of my coworkers, and she went off. Like she went crazy, right? But long story short, she tried to make it, and eventually like try to guilt trip me to the point where even when we one time we were having sex, she brought it up. She was like, "Oh, like where's?" She asked me where's the condom, and at the time I wasn't using any condoms at that time, and I was like, it's in my other bag, and then she brought up the fact like, "Oh, you must be fucking other bitches then," right? So long story short, they'll bring up things just to emasculate you or to say, "Oh, the sex is trash," or "I don't think we should eat." They'll use either the sex was trash or don't use protection. We're not. I want to use protection now. It's a whole lot of stuff. I don't want to go all over the place, but long story short is women will say the first couple months you dating them, like they'll be smitten by the sex and whatnot, and then you'll do something wrong, and then they'll just go haywire. Or you do something that they don't like, or they find out you're talking to other women, then they'll say, "Oh, the dick is trash anyway. I didn't care about that with you." That's why I say
that's an automatic go to, because dudes do care about not getting a bad D report out there. So you haven't made it to the point, you haven't went full game changer yet, where game changer don't care.
No, but here's the thing. Like I keep screenshots of them. Just
if you keeping screenshots, you care. Keep in mind, I care.
I do care.
I don't want no bad.
Care.
I don't want no bad. Hold on, wait. I don't want no bad report out there, but I've never took the preventative measures to preemptively be ready to prove it in the event that she say otherwise. That's a lot.
I don't know. It's immature of me to say, but I just like the screen. I like the screenshot to be like, damn, like my nipples hurt. Can you come over or something like that? I like that. Make me feel like I'm that nigga. Like, but long story short,
is that a thing? I mean, forgive me for not. I'm about to sound corny, I guess. My nipples hurt. Can you come over? That.
Yeah. I mean,
did anybody else get that text? Nipples hurting. Nipples hurting. What? I mean, I'm wet. Hold on. I'm wet. Can you come over? Okay. Nipples hurt.
Well, I'm pretty good at that. Just to say that. That's why. That's one of my special. I don't want to get too much into this. So I said she's milky. Nah, but that's one of my specialties. Like my foreplay stuff is on point, right? But here's the thing too. I've also said this too. I've had situations, even with girlfriends, they could not get me off, and they were so insecure about that, and they would.
Somebody asked a good question. Somebody asked, "Is she pregnant?" Because that's a pregnant woman problem.
It was a scare, but
it wasn't that. No, I think you're leaving out the story that you have a prego fetish, and these chicks be pregnant, and they got swollen titties and hurt nipples, and you come over there and tend to them. Is that the thing?
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't even like that. It was more of like my foreplay was on point with that, because it was amongst other stuff. Somebody said I bought the Steve the D booty eating course. Nah, it's not like, it's other stuff too. Like I'm just saying my foreplay was on point. But that's the thing with us as black men. I've said this before, and I've heard Ed bring this up. You can, like, what's worse in the black community? You saying that a dude don't have a job or your sex game is weak. Like niggas would actually prefer you people know that you don't have a job rather than you not.
That's unfortunately true.
You know, and I remember I was listening to him. I'm like, damn, he's right about that. But long story short, it's all about a power move, to be honest with you, because there have been multiple times where girls couldn't get me off, and it was for multiple reasons. It could be stress, it because sometimes they're too masculine, and it makes them super insecure. Like they assume that most of the dudes they've been with, they just automatically get them off. But for the mere fact that you can't get them off, like it bothers them. So this was more of a power play, to be honest with you, of saying, "Oh, he cannot satisfy me," because they know that as black men, that like that's our that's a part of our right of manhood. That's a passage of manhood to be able to get a woman off. So it's like I'm going to keep moving the goalpost until I see fit, right? So,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Real quick before I pass the mic, a Nigerian Flex in the building says had to drop off, but I think men should just tell women they won't wipe them because their walls have been torn down, just to see what happens. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Shout out to Mr. Topert in the building. See you down there. Shout out to Nigeria's Flex back in here with another one. He says, facts. Tommy from Martin didn't have a job for 5 seasons. But yeah, no, that is a good point though about, you know, among black folks. What would you rather have float out there? That somebody put it out there that your D game is trash, or put out there that you're broke and unemployed? Most dudes would rather have the most rather have it put out there that they broke and unemployed than for it to be put out there that they D game is trash. But anyway, Daryl Lang, is that Lang or Long? I can see it. I can't see it. It's real small in the building. Go ahead.
Long.
Daryl Long in the building. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic. Welcome back to the show, because you've been up here before, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember talking to you. Yeah. Shout out to you. Welcome back. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Appreciate you having me up. Thanks for even welcoming me to your platform, brother. You know, to just focus on the topic, I don't think it was anything wrong with what she did. Telling the world about it, you know, that's their prerogative. They are celebrities. That's what they do. I do feel like but the brother above me, he says some smart stuff. Nobody really cares if his D game was weak or not. Did he provide for the kids? Did he provide for the family? Did he build a legacy? Right? Us men, me, you, Game Changer, the brother above me, none of us care about the next man D game. None of us. What we do care, if we have men in our community who are not providing, who are not homeowners, who are not business owners, who are not doing things that are actually building our fucking community up and being good representatives to the next generation. So for DJ Envy, somebody who come into my city of Detroit all the time, buy property, do conventions, talk about NFTs, talk about short selling, talk about actually buying property without putting money down, weaponizing your credit.
You say DJ Envy do all of that stuff, and he come to Detroit doing it?
He come to multiple different places. He do it in New Jersey, Detroit, Georgia, but he do it all around the country. So outside of the Breakfast Club, he's known for music, entertainment, but also real estate as well. He do it with I can't remember the dude's name, but it's a little short guy out in Jersey. They are killing the real estate market. So I think those things are more important. Pardon me?
Earn Your Leisure. You're talking about Earn Your Leisure. I believe that's who it is.
Is his mic kind of low? I can hardly
No, he said, are you talking about Earn Your Leisure?
No, not Earn Your Leisure. Those brothers are good too, but it's a young
you said
man.
He was short. Earn Your Leisure ain't short. When he pulled up
it's
on
like no.
Pocket Watching with JT, he ain't look short when he was
no, it's not those guys, because on Pocket Watching, I'm pretty sure he's just an accountant. But there's a guy that was
just an accountant. That ain't a bad thing. But anyway, go ahead.
There was a guy who was on the Breakfast Club with DJ Envy, Mexican guy or something like that. These guys go around investing all the time. So I think it's more important that the conversation, not your conversation, but the conversation around DJ Envy is more about finance and real estate and how to build assets and build credit and use credit, versus whether his wife is happy or not, because she looked better than most of these guys' wives.
Well, hold on. Hold on. I think the problem with what you're saying is that, like, what you're saying is right, but the problem is apparently his wife don't view it that way, or didn't view it that way. Otherwise, she would have been happy that, yes, she's with a man who's this businessman who's investing in real estate, who's doing everything to ensure the legacy. No, she had an issue because she wasn't getting enough orgasms.
And my
So
thing is this too.
Well, she
I wanna
never
say-
divorced him. I get you though.
Yeah, that's what I believe is cap.
yeah, okay,
'cause
but
it's
she
like-
perp walking him through the social media streets about the shit. So I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
It's like
that's a
but
problem.
The thing is, she got 4 kids. After the 2 kids, she gave like, you know what? Let me cut my losses. Maybe she was like, oh, let me ride this money train out. But it's like, if the sex was that bad, couldn't you have left after like 2 kids and do whatever you want? If you want to quote unquote get your black blown out. But that's what I believe is cap, because women will say stuff like that. They'll tell their girls like, if you get them upset or whatnot, they're not. This is another thing too. Women are not gonna brag too much about your sex game to their friends, because they don't want to have competition. They want to find out, like, they'll try to keep that on the down low, right?
That's
More
true.
or less. So that's why I'm saying I mean, think about it this way too. You could think about it this way. She's probably telling his D game is trash just for the mere fact that he won't cheat again. That can also be a possibility, to make it known that he's whack in bed. Don't even bother with him. I've been faking it for 10 years. So any woman that might be interested in Envy, they be thinking, oh, well, his wife said he's kind of whack in bed. You know, there will be a conflicting mindset between those two things.
No, that's very true. What he's saying, like, she's basically trying to destroy his ladies' man's image in order for him to be less likely or less capable of cheating.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Do you guys think that what she said about him today or last night or whatever, is it worse than what Jada did to Will a few years ago with August Alsina?
No, that's the
that's a different level of that.
That's like the dark
we
side
compared
of
them.
emasculation.
We compared them too. He was talking about just overall public emasculation of a man by his woman, and yeah, that for damn Jada for damn sure came up. I think she's I mean, if it was a foot race, I think Jada is out in front, but but it's still, it's all bad. It's all bad if we're talking about the emasculation of men. Yeah.
No,
doubt.
I definitely agree to that point.
She has to do more though. I mean, like, the effort really is a mirror of it's a reflection of the men. It's going to take a lot more to make women not want to sleep with Will Smith than it is going to take for women to not want to sleep with, what's his name?
DJ Envy.
Oh,
DJ Envy. Is going to take a lot more. She has to make Will Smith seem like the worst person ever in order to, make sure that other women don't want to hit it.
Imagine in the span of 2 years. I remember growing up, like, if you were around like a lot, like because I lived in New York, but like if you went out in different places where there's predominantly white people, growing up, if girls were attracted to black men, they will be pointing out like, oh yeah, I love Will Smith, I love so and so, I love this, that, and the third. Like, Will Smith is considered he's not considered as much a sex symbol to black women. Denzel will probably take that category, but to non-black women at the hitch, you know how many non-black women loved Will Smith? Whenever they brought it out, like, oh, I want to, like, if I'm gonna get a black man, I want him to be like smooth like Will Smith. I honestly believe when it comes to situations like that, we underplay it, but we don't recognize how many times a lot of black women that are married to these men, they resent them for the mere fact that they have so much sexual access to not only just other black women, to just other women in general, right? We don't talk about that.
Well,
I mean, y'all throwing out an interesting concept. I'm not really convinced. I mean, maybe they'll try, but I don't think they can successfully dirty mac these men out of being attractive to other women. I don't care. Somebody will, single or not single, women gonna try him, and DJ Envy, single or not single, they gonna get tried. But these women, they probably are attempting to dirty mac on a man.
Right, I'm not saying that they're successful. I'm saying that this is an attempt.
Yeah.
And the brother immediately below me, he brings up another good point, that it's more effective with black women because really, what they're attacking is the man's ability to please sexually. And that's really more important to black women than it is to any other race of women. There would be no such thing as Asian people if Asian women, were worried about being pleased sexually.
Stop.
No. I mean, Asian women aren't lined up looking for Hong Lo. You know, they're
That's real shit though.
Damn.
Game changer funny, man. I tell you.
No, it's true. Yeah, it's funny, but it's true. Like they have more practical desires.
Yeah.
Now they're curious. You know, they're curious. I was in the Philippines. They're curious. You know, they
Go ahead and tell the story. Tell the whole story. What happened in the Philippines when you was walking around out there?
No, they're curious, and then once you let one of them grab and touch, they go and they tell their friends, and then they come up and they sneak a touch and stuff too. They're curious about black penis, but you know, did they just line up saying, you know, I want some of that because you know it's for my own physical pleasure? No.
Yeah. That's an interesting story that happened in Game Changers in the Philippines. Yeah, he said they kind of was walking up to him, just touching it, just doing curiosity checks, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly.
You love me a long time. You pick me up like big boy.
Yeah. But anyway, a story to tell in the buildings. And shout out to the story to tell. That brother was doing some. I mean, I was keeping up with your channel. Now they didn't quit sending me your notifications. I don't even know if you've been dropping content, but it was a minute when I was getting your notifications. So yeah, y'all go check that brother out. A story to tell. Got a good channel going on over there. But he says Envy had smoke for who was that? Jesus and Merrill. I don't know who these people are.
Deuce and Mero.
Oh, Deuce and Merrill, because they had jokes about her emasculated him a few years ago on the TV show The Real. I think I remember that. No, I remember he had went off and snapped. Somebody basically said she only with you because of your money or something like that or whatever. I remember that. That's when they start calling him the Beige Rage.
Yeah, it was when he came on The Real with that white suit on after he had cheated on baby girl. And Deuce and Mero, they from New York too. They did a reaction saying that, well, she said she knew Envy, she didn't know his real name. I think his name was Sean or something. And they said, well, you know those those DJ Envy checks. And then when he came to the show, Deuce and Mero basically got checked, and Envy ran off, acting exactly like the dude just said. Envy walked off like a little female. I think that was him emasculate himself more than his wife did today, because you came to check two men who you had direct access before the cameras even came on, but you put on the show. And like they said, you could have checked us outside the building. You could have checked us. I mean, this is New York City. You could have checked us anywhere. It seemed like he wanted to act tough, but didn't want to be tough when the situation came up. And now look at him. He in a situation where his wife is emasculating him online. And now you look even softer. But yeah, the dude who sent that super chat, he 100 because these two dudes brought up your wife and you did absolutely nothing about it. You know what I'm saying?
He did kind of snap and go off. He kind of cussed him out a little bit. It was on the air. It was okay. How did you cuss him out like a man versus a female? What was explain that?
A man. So if I'm married and I hear one of y'all talk about my wife and we in the same building, we don't need to set up mics and cameras. I can do that beforehand. I will grant. Mero said that, right? Like, well, you could have just hollered at us 2 hours ago because we got here 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, because I hate when people do this online. Like, if you mad at somebody for real, and this goes to Black YouTube and the whole works, and this black male space, that I do honestly believe you mad at somebody for real, y'all should just have a real conversation. Now, if y'all not mad for real but got a disagreement, you can debate the disagreement. You can debate the disagreement and just have a normal conversation amongst men. But he was mad for real. So y'all didn't sit there, you mad for real. So he probably sat around him for 20 minutes while they getting the show set up and getting the lights, camera, action together. Then once the camera start rolling, now I'm mad. And I was like, yeah, that's fake. That's fake. So yeah, but I still won't say he cussed him out like a female. I mean, he did. I do remember that. That's how he got the hashtag the Beige Rage. They start calling him that. I do remember he went off. He snapped, but it's always something fake about when you snapping on somebody, in an organized show. It's always something fake about that. So I'll say it was an element of fakeness, but overall, I can't say that he was wrong in what he was saying. I mean, they came at his wife and he came back at them. And then he just, said what he had to say and went back and forth for a little bit and he walked off the set. I can't say he was wrong, but looking at all of this, it now looks like like a Will type of situation where you going hard defending somebody who's been publicly emasculated you. It is sort of looking like that. Ryan Decipher in the building says, great live stream, Bernard. Shout out to Azrael. Glad to see a child of Theo on the panel. Don't just be calling him a child of Theo. But since we had it, go ahead and explain. Go ahead. Okay, good. I'm glad you embrace it then. So go ahead and explain that. What do you mean by a child of Theo? Go ahead and break that down.
Embrace it. I'm a part of the coaching tree of like what was the coach of the 49ers back in the day? And then everybody branched off from like the dude that coached for the Chiefs. Remember the 49ers coach? Bill Walsh.
I know who. Okay.
Yeah, Bill Walsh. So like everybody is like we a part of that coaching tree. No, because I'm in Theo's cloud software engineering I would say, I don't want to say program, but mentorship like circle. And Ryan is on point. He's a big bro too as well. He's doing well with it. He already got, I think he has at least one certification where he's making probably close to, if not 125 a year or more. So we're, it's a group of us.
So and this is good people. Just for those that don't know, that was an outgrowth of the Black Manosphere meetup, just for those who didn't, who aren't fully connecting the dots on that. That is an outgrowth of the Black Manosphere meetup, a part of what that whole thing was about. And Theo will be doing the same thing in Philly. He will be doing the same thing in Philly at the Mumia Obsidian Ali experience. There will be an IT portion of that. So go to the website, blackmanosphereevents.com, and check that out. Check that out if you do want to be.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Bernard.
Yeah, if you do want to be a part of that course, you do want to get in on that. A lot of brothers who was at the Black Manosphere meetup who started it there, a lot of them are making good money. A lot of them have just, in a quick few months, they in the six figures now. So that,
from January,
so definitely want to check that out and want to explore that. So thank you, Ryan Decipher. You gave me an opportunity to do a little commercial. So thank you for that super chat. But go ahead, Azrael, you was about to say something.
I wanted to say this too. Ryan is on point because he already passed. He's probably one of the first 10 people to pass his cloud certification. He studies like 3 hours every other day. And we're talking like you're in software engineering, you're making at minimum 125. That's on the low end, right? So we're going to be eventually doing some internships over the summer. And I'm also learning not only AWS Cloud, I'm also going to be learning SQL with Sub-Zero. So yeah, if anybody, don't worry about your D game, brothers. You can. There's always Viagra for that. I'm just playing, but no, and seriously.
Seriously.
Yeah, like you. Not on top of that, you're doing software, engineering, IT. These are remote jobs. As soon as I'm done, but I plan on getting a job at the latest in the fall. I'm probably gonna move out to the West Coast. And that's all a part of Theo's help as well. Theo's a brilliant dude.
Yeah.
Theo, brilliant, super brilliant.
Yeah, I just put the link in the chat right there, blackmanosphereevents.com. So go and check that out. Thumb around that website, check it out, and then you'll find, you'll find what you need. You'll find what you need to find on there. So definitely go and check that out. And RM, if you haven't already, if you're listening, I don't see her in the chat, but if you're listening, go and copy and paste that link and have that one of the links that you periodically put through the chat, because the good thing about the Black Manosphere meetup and all the events coming forward in the future, they are connected to the training that Theo does. And like, listen, I did a stream with Theo. He make $50,000 a month doing that, and he's teaching other brothers to do it. I didn't say a year, I said a month. He's teaching other brothers to at least just get on that path, even if you fall short of the $50,000 a month or that $600,000 a year he's making. If you fall short and only make $150,000 a year, you're doing better than what you're doing now. So check it out. But
let's just say this: like at minimum, you could be working multiple jobs. You shouldn't be making less than $200K, to be honest with you. Like, to me, being around Theo, like $100K doesn't mean a lot to me anymore. To be honest, it's like, to me, the 100K is the 50K. To be honest with you, I'm aiming to be at least $250,000. So
Oh yeah, all day. All right. But let's hold on. Wait, before we go forward, shout out to Dane C. I see you down there. And Osmosis Reacts came through with another super chat. says he was around them all morning and he waited for the show to start to check them. But that's basically doing what Will Smith did. Had to show the world I ain't a punk for the cameras. Yeah. I'm divided on that. Whether or not you should, want to show the world I ain't no punk. But if you got a real issue and it's personal, you should just handle it when you see them versus waiting for lights, camera, action. There's something fake about that. But yeah. Dane C in the building says at least Envy handled it better than just trying to say Charlemagne when he got checked by Fredo Star on the Breakfast Clubs. I think he's trying to again say Charlemagne was visibly shook. Envy wasn't. Yeah, I don't even remember that. I don't be keeping up that much, but thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody in the building. Appreciate everybody in the building. Everybody who's supporting the stream. Appreciate
So I want to
and every one of you. Go ahead. Whoever wanted to jump in.
No, I want to jump in it and say that I peeped what you did, brother at the bottom. I peeped what you did. That was low, but
What?
I peeped that.
What happened?
No, the pun he said. The pun he said earlier when he was like DJ Envy going soft. Yeah. Huh. I understood the play on words that he was using.
DJ Envy going soft.
Game changer.
Well, I know. Help me out. I'm slow.
Yeah, you gotta fill us in on that.
Going soft. That's a reference to,
his being limp, impotent.
Yeah, exactly. In addition to he's saying he's going soft and dealing with the other brother. So it was a pun. Nobody caught it. I caught it. I wanted to highlight that he was saying the
Got
double
entendre.
Gotcha. Got it. Okay, cool. that completely went over my head. Completely went over my head. Thank you, Dane C, for dropping that right there. Do appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Quick question. Do you guys think this is gonna be a trend of happening? Like there's gonna be an expose of black men getting caught cheating and then their wife is gonna take them on a emasculation world tour. Like emasculation world tour with me and my man Shahid Ali. Yeah, my fault. Go ahead, get change it.
No, possibly. It is a weapon that they can use, to every man but me, but yeah, it's possible that they start doing that.
Man.
For those who came late, didn't hear the beginning, why is it that they can use that emasculation tactic on every man but you? Explain that. And I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Yeah, simply put, it's because my masculinity isn't tied to my ability to please women sexually. It's so
pretty much.
Yeah, so you can't really emasculate me in that way because my masculinity isn't bound by that. So
it's not incumbent upon a woman's sexual pleasures, right? There's not
exactly
nothing tied to. Son is Hot Rod said trash D is the result of lack of experience. The more sex a man has, the better he becomes at it. Repetition is the mother of skill. Hence, 18% of black men are F-boys. They had access to practice. Your thoughts? For me personally, I don't believe that's true, because you can have, of course, maybe when you're a virgin, you're not going to be the best. Of course, you're not going to be good. But afterwards, I really think it depends on I don't know, Game Changer might not agree to this, but I think it's more or less your compatibility and how you get along with the person and the chemistry,
Well, what Son is Hot is saying is true. However, it's with the same women. Like repetition with the same woman definitely will increase the pleasure of both parties, with
true.
that person. But F-boys, that don't really apply here because every time, he starts with a new woman, it's a new learning curve.
Yeah. And here's the thing, some men.
You know what, Azriel, I gotta agree with you, brother, because a little bit of it is energy, but some of these dudes, they don't really know women the way that they say that they know women. They don't. Let me turn this off because I want people to staring at my fucking forehead. They don't want people who don't know about the clitoris. They don't want people who are going to engage in in foreplay or oral sex. Right, because there's some dudes who do not know how to eat the twat. They don't know how to stimulate a clitoris. They don't know how to fucking touch a woman the right way. And you see it by the women that want to even sexually engage with them, the women that's even attracted to them. You see it. To me, what Son is Hot Ross said, Trash D is a lack of experience. That's only when you get to a certain age. Like if we was all high schoolers having this conversation, I would have definitely accepted that. But I'm above 30. I believe Bernard is. I believe all of us is. If we're not, we close to it, right? So
Yeah, I'm
once
27.
you're 27, right? So
Yeah.
by the time you turn 25, you knew how to stimulate a
Yeah.
clitoris. You knew how to touch your woman the right way. You knew how to stroke the right way, how to go deep the right way. These are things that if you don't know by the time you're 25 how to stimulate a clitoris, then you just played yourself. You genuinely playing yourself, and your dick. I apologize, Bernard. Your D game is going to always be trash because you're more concerned about what you're doing versus about what's going to actually get the woman to orgasm, and that's just the facts.
I would say this though, because I believe that's true, but sometimes
Bernard, you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted, Bernard. We can't
Okay,
hear you.
wait, I was muted. Y'all couldn't hear me. But no, I was just saying thank you, Sonny's Hot Raw. I know y'all read that super chat when I was gone, but thank you for that super chat. Go ahead. Somebody was I think
I was
Game
gonna
Changer
say this. Now I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, which you're absolutely right. But the person that was talking before me, but I've had situations where, and it comes more or less from knowing yourself too. I know, for example, that sex is not going to be great for women that are in their masculine too much, or they're a little too aggressive. So, for example, when I was younger, when I was in my earlier 20s, like I used to be like, oh, as long as she looked good, like I don't even care. But then the sex was trash, or like I wasn't aroused, let's just say that, and the girls would get mad. But I realized I had to talk to an older person about that, and they said it's probably because your D is telling you like you're not really feeling this woman as much as you think you are, right? So if a woman, for me, if a woman is not in her feminine, or if she's not an agreeable person, I'm not one of those dudes that be like, oh, as long as she got, as long as she got a box, or I'm good to go. Sometimes it's more or less if you get along with that woman, does she make you feel comfortable? Because I've had situations where people tell me like, Dad, when you were dealing with that girl, you would look like you were on edge, like you look like you weren't even like comfortable, and that was more or less because of her energy was
Are
a
you
little bit
talking
too
about
masculine.
sexual performance or day-to-day comfort and happiness in the
No,
non-sexual stuff
but
in
it
a relationship?
translates. It translates because remember, sex is all in the mind. Is what it starts from the mind to the bedroom. So it goes for men and women. I'm talking my personal experience. If I didn't feel comfortable because she was a disagreeable woman, like there was always an argument, she would always start like fights and stuff like that. You're not going to be comfortable to be around her and be able to like do what you want to do and be able to please her and whatnot, because you're always on edge. That's my experience compared to other girls that I dealt with. They were cool, fun to be around with. Everything was calm
I
and
hear. Hold on,
collected.
wait,
That was
real
the
quick. Let
best
me
sex
let
I
me let
had.
me hold on, real quick. Let me interject. I hear what you're saying. It's just you're using the type of the
I know
language you're using is not. It doesn't. It
I know
ain't
it's
the
hard.
right
It's hard to.
language.
I know it's hard to quantify. Basically, what I'm telling you is
No.
that
What you said. No. Basically, you're saying is that if a chick is combative and disagreeable, then you turned off by her, and
no. That's
your sex with her is going to be bad, and you ain't gonna fully enjoy it because it's like she's an out of pocket
that's what
bitch. I mean, is that what you're
that's what I
saying?
was. That's what I'm saying. When I was younger, I used to always assume as long as she looked good, like my D would get hard, like I would be good. But that wasn't the case, and I used to think like, is something wrong with me? But it's like no, it's because she was like her manliness, or her just being like insufferable, just make the stuff go limp. Basically, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that's when I was younger and I didn't know any better. So that's what
No,
I said. Sometimes
I
it's
hear
not
My
what
all
bad, my
about
bad.
experience.
No,
It's not always
Adrio,
about experience.
Adrio, I wanted to say something too because there's some men who will call, you know, studying a woman's body is not what Charles Merchant, I think he said, never trust a male that studies adolescent lustful tactics. If that's what you guys want to call, if that's what you guys call actually knowing a woman's body, that goes to show me there's people in this chat and on this like YouTube space that you don't know nothing about women. If you get any woman up here and ask them If
Well,
clitoris
women.
play, hold on. With all due respect, Bernard, if you
Go ahead.
get any woman up on this panel right now of any race who's sexually active, who's not Muslim, waiting for marriage or something like that, and ask them, is foreplay important? Is clitoris important? Not just like what somebody said in the chat, stimulating the hole. This is why a lot of y'all are unsuccessful. That's probably what DJ Envy was failing to do.
All right. Obviously, if you bring a woman up here, she's going to say that that's important because obviously that's what she wants. There's different schools of thought on it. And one school of thought is the man don't care as much what she wants. You care more about what you want, and her job is to perform and give you what you want. That's one school of thought on it. But overall, yeah, the women for it's all with women, foreplay is a huge thing. The clit is everything. Most women, for a lot of women, that's almost the only way they could really have an orgasm. A lot of women, yeah. So we generally get that. Just some men are in a place where women are in a place where they sexually active, they have just as many partners as you, and I'm not about to be the dude tap dancing trying to outperform the last dude. I'm going to get a woman that's going to tap dance for me and do what she got to do to perform for me and keep me happy because I'm the man and I handle shit in my life, and what I can do for her is infinitely more than what she could do for me. So dance, bitch, dance. That's the school of thought that some people got on it. Now I don't think it's that they just don't understand women. It's just that they just operate and just on a, I don't even want to say just on a different level, but they operate and think and process it differently. Now, me personally, the way that what I just described, yeah, I get that and understand that, and there's an element of that in me, but I still also like to please. I like to make a woman come. Like it's sort of both and with me. But different people got different schools of thoughts.
I think
and I'm
that
not going to just shit on them and say, see, that's why you having a problem. I hate when people do that when they be like, see, that's why you having a problem with women because you don't know how to suck them toes right. I was just like, nah, we ain't doing that.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, right? But for me, if we're going to not us here, but if men are going to talk about, well, DJ Envy wife was doing this, and this. But if we're not having conversations around what women like, what pleases them, then I mean, listen, I never cared about somebody, not you, Bernard, or anybody here saying, well, Daryl's a beta. It don't matter because the women that I attract are extremely beautiful. Even on YouTube, extremely beautiful, right? And every single one of them.
What do you mean even on YouTube?
I mean, women who I meet on YouTube, who I meet in real life, people who engage with me, people who give me their number, people who say, let's meet up for dinner, and we end up fucking, right? I'm saying that if we're going to ultimately talk about DJ Envy, I think we should have conversations as men about how to keep a woman happy. Because a lot of men get online and they put in chats, they get boxed, they do this, they men, but their lives aren't representations of it. You get what I'm saying? So to me, I think, again, if we had more women up here, every single woman would say, yes, they are with and want a man who's going to sexually please them. I believe that DJ Envy was too busy and really didn't care to focus on those things. And I watched the interview. He said later on, he began to focus on those things because they talked about them. Before, she didn't even communicate that she was unhappy for 10 years. When she did, she communicated what she wanted, what he could do to make her happy. And the last thing any of us want, now, what would be worse? Her saying that the D was trash, or her never telling him and then ended up with August Alsina, right?
No, what would be better is one, like she said she went 11 years, but she didn't tell him that the sex was bad, and she did everything she could to perform for him, to make him happy, because he was doing everything for the family, making the money, providing, doing everything. And so her job was to please him sexually, and that's all she was worried about. Now, what she did was absolutely wrong. She started emasculating him. She weaponized the fact that she wasn't pleased sexually. She made him feel like shit. And now she's publicly airing the shit out. So all that is wrong. Now, what she could have did is just, if she wanted to get a little more pleasure out of sex, she could have just, said, hey, could you do this? And could you try this? Or, I hate to get into details about this, but a woman can kind of, there's no other way to say this, but the best way for a woman to communicate what a man is doing right or wrong during sex is actually during sex give him physical
Brief
pointers,
instructions.
physical pointers. If he do something you like, that's when you give the reaction. It's almost like a hot cold thing. You give him the reaction when he's doing something right, and keep doing that. Then eventually, over time, he'll figure out exactly what you like. And if he's not like Game Changer and he actually care what you like, he will adjust his stroke to whatever you're responding to and how you're responding to it. So there is a way to communicate that other than being an emasculating bitch.
Hey,
And
BR,
that's what she admitted that she was. So we ain't gonna give a pass for that one and criticize. No. We're not gonna give a pass for that one over here.
No, major facts. One of your moderators, the Naked Truth, I was just about to read it. She said, men who don't please women in bed should buy a doll and stay alone. Listen, ladies, know the ones that you want to make suffer in silence. That's a fact.
Hold on, listen, hold on, whoa. Yeah, know the ones that want to make you suffer in silence. Okay, all right. I just wanted. I thought she was saying that. I thought she was talking about making men suffer in silence. But
no. Because what she's saying is absolutely right. As a woman, no woman was going to disagree with what I said up here. Period. I knew that.
Of course, that dude. Hold on, wait. This is a man's show, so you don't win an argument or score extra points because women agree with you. The women agree with me.
I'm not trying to.
Who gives a shit? Okay,
that means I'm right. Believe it.
No, I'm not trying to.
Women agree with me. Yeah.
No. That's how y'all feel about it, Bernard. That's how y'all. I don't feel that way. If that's how you look at it in your eyes,
no. That's how I interpret what you're saying. You would never hear me saying, "I know I'm right," based off how many women co-signed what I said.
I said no women here is going to disagree. Anything else you interpreted from it is your interpretation.
I know, but what's there's no point. There's no point in saying no woman here will disagree. Yeah, it's really no point in saying that. I'm not.
Yeah. What's the point of arguing against it?
No, but here's the thing. What's the incentive for them not to agree with you? Of course, they're gonna want men to please them. But here's my thing with what you said. A part of a woman being satisfied in terms of orgasm is they have to want to please a man. That's how they get pleased. That's a part of it. So if a woman is already going against her nature, not wanting to please a man, she's already in conflict with herself. You understand? So they'll that's why I'm saying the whole concept of you can't get them off. Sometimes it's for the matter of fact that woman just is not a nice person. You gotta agree to that. Well, that woman doesn't like you like that. Or more or less, she doesn't feel the need to satisfy you sexually.
I've had a couple situations like that. What's up?
Hold on, wait. Who we got at the bottom? That's introduce yourself. What's your name? I can't see it.
My name's Ron. The Standard RLC is my
the standard RLC. Okay, welcome to the show. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic. I got to make it to where I can see the names. But hold on.
Another dirty glove player in the building. I'm from Detroit.
Right on. I don't know what that means. A dirty glove player, but it sounds cool. Go ahead. You got it.
But I was gonna say, Kayla on the Lapeef show, she said one time that she made a point like rich dudes don't have sex, like they don't have time for sex like that. For them, it's like in and out. So it's probably likely, she wasn't satisfied anyway. But I was gonna say I had two different stories of one chick. I've always said I'm a giver, like my pleasure is in your pleasure. But I had to learn to come off of that a little bit because I had one situation where I was messing around with a chick and she found out that I was messing around with somebody else. And then the next time we had sex, she was like a starfish, like no reaction, nothing. And I'm like,
back up. Say that again. What happened?
So I was messing around with this chick, and then maybe about a month or so into it, she, in a weird way, asked me if I was talking to other people. And I was like, yeah, like we're just dating. And so the next time she and I had sex, I got complete starfish and no reaction. She looking all into space. I didn't get as hurt by that because I knew what she was doing. But then maybe a few years later, I had sex with another chick and I've been looking to hook up with this chick for a minute. And when we got to it, the chemistry wasn't really there. And she kind of stopped me before I finished. And she was like, I asked her how it was. She was like, well, I didn't come. And I was like, well, I didn't either. But that kind of hurt me. That kind of hurt me. But at the same time, I kind of flipped to Game Changer where I'm like, okay, I need to do this for myself because I'm not sure what's going through these chicks' heads. I've heard of so many chicks faking. I've seen this one chick just because her mind switched, like the sex turned bad, like, you know, like a light switch. Like, I need to be able to do this for myself. Like, I'm still a giver and I still want to get the reactions or whatever, but like I do understand now, like for them, a lot of times it's just mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you brought up a good point though. When she gave you starfish sex after you admitted you was having sex with somebody else, that was her basically just trying to leverage. You know, basically, if you're having sex with somebody else, I'm not gonna give it to you good no more. You're only gonna get it good if it's only for me. That was her trying to use sex as a weapon or a tool to get you to, you know, behave the way that she wanted you to behave. Did it work?
No, because at that was somewhere towards the end where I started to realize, like, oh, she's manipulative.
Yeah.
Like, because she had kind of a troubled past, controlling dad, blah blah blah. But just in some practice, like, that was one of her manipulative tactics. I was kind of in the middle of my red pill rage around this time, so I kind of like saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah. No,
but no, we stopped talking like 2 weeks later.
GC, you've been quiet for a while. You in one of those meetings? Game changer.
No, I'm not in a meeting. I don't have another meeting for a while, but no, I'm still multitasking. But no, you had a question for me?
Oh no. No. Just because you ain't said nothing in a while. I was just seeing if you were still there. No, if you ain't feel the need to jump in, you ain't exactly
no. The brothers are on point. You know, it's not much I could say. I mean, the starfish tactic that the brother was talking about, it is a thing that they do. However, it's really bad tactics. I mean, it's a woman's tactic. I don't expect it to be good, but I mean, it's a bad tactic nonetheless, because simply put, she's basically saying, what she's saying is, oh, I have a bunch of other women that I have to compete with. Let me give him bad sex. Like, really? Is that going to work?
No, like, well, you know, they don't want to compete.
Sex with bad sex? Like, I mean, it's a bad tactic, but she's a woman. Like, it don't have to make sense.
Yeah. And it could flip either or. It depends on how her past experiences and relationships. Because I know some women, they'll be like, oh, they're gonna smash you a little bit hard. They're gonna be a little bit more passionate with the sex. And there's other women where it's like, oh, I've had women bring up the fact like, oh, were you, like, in the middle of a sex, they asked me, or were you sleeping with your coworker? Like, you know,
she brought that up in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. She was like,
God,
and I was like, nah. She's like, oh, if you wanna go fuck other bitches, you could go on and do that. Like, you don't have to be here. And I just bounced. That's happened to me. But the thing is, I unfortunately I attract a lot of clingy women and very controlling, unfortunately. So
the starfish chick, she did something similar to me. She, you know, she was doing oral stuff to me, and she was like, I wonder if anybody else is doing this.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell?
I've had that. Yep.
That is wild. That is wild. Ain't nobody has ever. I've had that after the fact, either after or just at a random time they inquired about whether or not I was having sex with somebody else. And keep in mind, these is this situation where these women, they not my woman, and she wasn't my girlfriend. We were just having casual sex. I guess she just started liking it, and now she got and got curious, but curious about, you know, how exclusive it was, but never during. Like, that would piss me off. That would piss me off to be asked that in the middle of it. If you want to ask after the fact or at any random time, then okay, whatever. But not during. That pissed me off. But Son is Hot Right. You said I skipped your super chat. I didn't skip it. It's just that they read it when I walked away, and I came back and I thank you for it. But tragedy is a result of lack of experience. Tragedy is a result of lack of experience. Not necessarily, because you can have experience and then don't. And like, you be like Game Changer, don't care if it's trash. You just give it to them however they get it, and that's just how they get it. God damn it! But but anyway, he says the more sex a man has, the better he becomes at it. If he wants to become better at it, repetition is the mother of skill. Hence, 18% of black men are F boys. I don't know where you came with 18% from. Are F boys. They had access to practice your thoughts. My general thoughts on that is that being good at it is something that you have to actually want to be good at it, and it varies from woman to woman. If you're actually good at it, you know what one woman like, the next woman don't like. So it's about learning that individual woman's body and what she likes. So that's why I always say when women say, "Oh, well, the sex was bad." I mean, as such, I talked about a situation where me and a chick was sexually incompatible.
Mhm.
We had sex, I don't know, 5 or 10 times, and I never bust one. So we just gave up.
That's happening.
but yeah,
it took you 10 times to figure that out.
I mean, no, I kind of liked her as a person, and she was cool, and she looked good. So I was like, we gonna figure this out. But eventually, I'm not even feel like getting into the details of it.
No.
Basically, she liked to get in a weird position that wasn't really even a sex position for me. But she like, oh yeah, I like it like that. I'm like, you do? Like, we ain't even fucking. Like, this is like weird. Like, move your legs right now. I put her legs up where I needed them, and then it was uncomfortable for her in that position. But the stuff that she liked to do is like I didn't like to do it. Like, I couldn't even stay at 100% in that position she liked, and then she get mad I ain't at 100%. Well, damn it, bend over and arc your back like the way I like, or put your leg, let me put your legs up, or do this. And then she was like, no, that hurt, that's uncomfortable. I'm like, so okay, when I put you how I like it, it hurt or it's uncomfortable. When we do it how you like it, I can barely, I can only be at like 85%. It's like, so I was just like, fuck it. We just said to hell with it.
That's when the choking should have come out.
Hold on, but real quick, GC, before you go, I want to finish the point. There's a such thing as sexual incompatibility. If it's like me and that chick, it ain't gonna work. But for the most part, unless it's something extreme like that, you normally could. Yeah, two people can normally figure it out. In my opinion, you could learn her body. I mean, men are simple. It's easy to please a man for the most part. But I mean, if you care about pleasing her, you could learn her body and figure out what she like and make it work. So that's why when they always say, I forgot what you said. The more sex a man has, better he becomes at it. Repetition is the mother of skill. Just know with a certain, if you two people just committed to having sex with each other and making it work, they can make it work. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead, GC.
Dual compatibility is very difficult to work, and that's why it did work out. She should be adjusting to you or you to her. One person.
She should have. So when I like it, both legs up, knees on her knees on her shoulder, and it hurt and it's uncomfortable like that for her, she should have just took it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
I'm with that.
No. It is what they take. That's why you say I give it to you. You taking it. Like, it is what they take. Like, I mean, what the hell? Yeah, she was supposed to take it. Yeah, and not complain. Because complaining takes you down from 95 to 85%. Yeah, don't complain and take it and pretend like you like it. Absolutely. Pretend like you like the discomfortable position that Bernard likes. Absolutely. That is what makes sex good. What the fuck? I mean, you trying to please her and she trying to please you, and the shit got confused. That's what I'm saying. Dual compatibility is not going to fly.
Yeah. Shout out to Daryl Lang. I guess he had to drop down. Okay, yeah, he said in the back chat, got to jump off in this meeting. Peace, guys. Yeah, peace, Daryl Lang. Thanks for coming on through. Thanks for adding to the conversation. Yeah, some little disagreement, a little pushback, but I like that. I like when people, have a little disagreement or different perspective. So thank you for coming on through. Appreciate you. All right. Damn it, where was we at? Judge Zilla the Beast in the building. Shout out to Judge Zilla. Always love when Judge come up. But go ahead, whoever.
You got a dick in you. Like, how is she gonna say it's uncomfortable? Like, it's supposed. It's a dick.
It's supposed to hurt.
No, I mean, it's not supposed to be the most comfortable thing ever. Like, when you're young and you gotta do it in a car, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, they're okay. I mean, well, I don't know exactly what she was feeling, but I do know that there's a lot of women where, yeah, that feel good and kind of uncomfortable, or feel good and kind of hurt, or mostly hurt but kind of feel good, is a balance that they like to be in, and that's a good place to be, in my opinion. But when they like that, but overall, it's some different women got different setups down there. I mean, no one is the same, and some of them, yeah, some positions that is just. They get in a certain position and they go in at a certain angle. You bumping and knocking down there, hitting something that they don't like to be hit, and it just is what it is, and it varies from woman to woman, and so yeah, that's why I say there's a such thing as just two people not being compatible. And
Hey,
it just is
Bernard,
what it is.
No,
I got to go back to work.
It's okay,
so
okay. It's a such
I'm
thing
a-
as go ahead, go ahead.
I got to go back to work. I appreciate you having me on, man. I'm a fan of yours for real.
Oh no, thanks for coming up. I appreciate that. You got a channel?
Yeah, Waffle Talk Ronnie.
Waffle Talk Ronnie. Y'all drop that in the chat if y'all could type it into the engine and find it.
You should find it. Waffle
It's easy
Talk
to
Ronnie.
find. Waffle Talk Ronnie. Yeah. Y'all go check the brother out. Go check the brother out. I'll try to type it in and see if it pop up, and then I'll go subscribe myself. So thanks for coming on through.
I appreciate it.
Yep, no doubt. But all right, go ahead, GC. You was about to go in on that. What did I say? Two people not being compatible. There's no such thing as that. It's her not compatible with my dick. Well, go ahead. I'll let you set it up.
No, I'm not saying it's no such thing. I'm saying it's very difficult. It's very difficult to, like if you're working on a car or something, right? And you need a nut that's 9/10 or 9/16, right? And your wrench just so happens to be 8/16. Well, you go get a socket to adjust to that nut. But if the nut changes the moment you go out and get the 9/16, like you can't do it. Like if two things are moving, trying to find an equilibrium, it's not going to work. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like somebody has to adjust. Two people don't like the same pizza toppings. Somebody has to adjust. Somebody has to say, okay, but it's pizza and I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I'm typing in Waffle Talk with Ronnie. Damn it, I can't see what I'm typing, so I don't even I'm crossing my fingers hoping that I'm getting it right. Because I can't see that screen from far away. I'm just
Well,
right,
no, that's fine. But see, and this is another thing, ladies.
Here we go. All right, hold on real quick. Yeah, y'all go. I probably spelled that wrong and probably botched it. But that's the link to the channel of the brother that was just up. Thank you for coming on through. Y'all go check the brother's channel out. He look like he just getting things started over there. So go check it out. Show him some love. All right, go ahead, GC.
No, that's another thing, ladies. Once you learn how to gain pleasure from giving it, then the pleasure that you receive is only limited by the pleasure that you give. Once you learn how to receive pleasure from pleasing your man, then that means you can give yourself unimaginable pleasure because you can give him unimaginable pleasure. If you only receive pleasure from the pleasure a man gives you, then you're limited to you're limited by the amount of pleasure that man gives you. It's in your best interest to embrace that aspect of your femininity, in other words.
All right. Do you think that to some degree is a tough sell? And I disagree with what Annette threw out there about suffering in silence. I don't think if a man is a good man and he's doing the things that a man is supposed to do, I don't think she's necessarily suffering in silence if the sex isn't as good. Because that's basically saying you need to hit on all cylinders, you need to have the money, you need to pay all the bills, you need to be 100% scoring at least a B plus or if not an A plus in every other man category. Oh, and he has to be Superman in the bedroom as well. That's basically saying a man needs to hit on all cylinders, be a 10 out of 10 across the board. That's basically what they're saying. So it's extreme to say she's suffering in silence if the sex isn't just 100% A1. However, I still think it's kind of a tough sell to try to say that they shouldn't be concerned at all about their pleasure, and you're basically trying to this is maybe what the hell was that? Oh, you
no, that was me. My bad. I was typing in the chat. Man. Get some. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Yeah. So you're basically trying to neurologically, neurobiochemically rewire them to get their pleasure from pleasing. But I'm sure you would argue that's probably their actual nature anyway to get their pleasure from pleasing.
Nature. That's their base wiring. Society has rewired them already. You see, she was doing that for 11 years. She was already wired that way. Society has
Wait, hold on. Hold your
rewired.
thought. Hold your thought. Hold your thought. Annette got smoke for you in the chat room. Annette, you ain't got a cam up, but if you want to come up and offer some pushback to Game Changer, the link is in the chat for you. Wait, that's not the link. That's the brother's channel that just left the panel. I'm about to put the link in the chat for Annette if you want to come up and offer some pushback to Game Changer. Because I don't know if you're ready. You probably, you're probably at home in your round the house clothes with a Erica Badu rag on your head. You're probably not ready to cam up, but you can just come up and use the avatar and push back on Game Changer if you want to. But anyway, go ahead, Game Changer.
No. I was saying that is their base nature, and the reason why women are acting different is because the society is rewiring them to act like this. Shows like Sex in the City and just basically everything they say, all of these reality shows, and blah 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 blah. That's rewiring them. At a base level, it is in their desire to please me, whether it's comfortable for them or not. Like, how the fuck it's uncomfortable, Bernard? Bitch, please. How's she gonna tell you it's uncomfortable? What kind of shit is that? The whole escapade look uncomfortable. Having your hair pulled and being smacked from the back, and then when they get tired of having their ass smacked, they put their hand there, and then I lift the hand up, and then this shit is all contorted because their hand is wrapped up like a pretzel, and their ass is in the air, and their hair is being pulled while I'm fucking. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. God damn it! Like, what the fuck else is this? Like, that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, okay. What you described right there for a lot of women, that is a pleasurable uncomfortable. But there is a such thing as
take pleasure in the discomfort.
No. That's a thing. That's a thing. No doubt, that's a thing. And the way you described it, yes, that part right there, with the way you described that, a lot of women get a lot of pleasure out of that kind of discomfort. Okay, they like getting roughed up. They like to be physically dominated, no doubt about that. But there is a such thing as there's a such thing as some bumping and knocking discomfort that can happen when you in there. That's that hurt, not in a good way. So that is a such thing. That is a such thing. So I'll just say that. But Shock G in the building says, Bernard, you are sending a dangerous. It's not. How's it dangerous? But he says, Bernard, you are sending a dangerous message telling dudes not care about pleasing their woman. I didn't say that. Game Changer did. I didn't say that. I said that if a man is hitting on all cylinders and doing everything right, I don't think a woman, especially if she's anywhere on the average or slightly above average spectrum, she for damn sure shouldn't be requiring for this man to do everything else right, be financially stable, secure, protect, provide, do everything, pay 100% of the bills, and be hitting on all cylinders in every other area of manhood. But if that's just one area where it ain't just hitting on all cylinders, I think that's a compromise that a woman ought to be able to make. It just I mean, if she's getting everything else that a woman needs out of the situation, I just think that's a compromise she got to be able to make. But if you listen to me at all in this stream, I said, no, I like to please. I'm a pleaser. I like to please. He said these same dudes will be the main ones crying and begging like Keith Sweat when their lady leaves. That's fake news. That's fake news because, you know, if guy is on point in every other area, he'll get another chick in there. He'll get a chick to play ball. So no, I don't. It's the gamut of dudes that cry when a woman leave. It's a lot of other variables in that you just can't say. I ain't going down that rabbit hole. But just you said something that I said that you saying I said something that I didn't say. That's Game Changer. So address the right person. That's all I'm saying. I'll say that. But we got the Naked Truth with Annette in the building. Game Changer's arch nemesis.
Hi everyone, hi chat. Yes, I do have my bonnet on, no makeup. My wig is still being fixed, so yeah.
Your wig is hold on, wait. Your wig is being fixed. How does that work?
My wig is being straightened today.
You sent it into the shop.
Yes, for them to fix it and make it look
there's a team of people with surgical tools operating on your. They got the little clear things on your wig.
No, Bernard, you remember how Darth Vader had that machine that lowered the helmet on his head?
Hold on, one at a time.
No, Bernard, you remember how Darth Vader had that machine that lowered the helmet on his head? That's what she got to go get done.
It's Operation Get That Wig Right. That one's for you, Game Changer. I know you hate the wig.
But go ahead, Annette. You've been objecting to Game Changer in the chat room, so go ahead. You have the floor. You have the floor. You have the mic.
Listen, Bernard. Right? Any man can come here and say anything and say, "I don't need to please a woman. I don't need." You know, the people who know the truth. The women, we know how men are when they're in the bedroom. We know how men are when they're in private. They just like to talk. Oh, I don't need to please you. Somebody like Game Changer, I can assure you, I can almost bet that he tries to please women behind closed doors. It's just cool to say that you don't. But all men
You think
do.
that this shit is cool?
You think it's cool to brag. You think
what
it's
about
cool to
what
brag
about
about
this is
not
cool?
pleasing a woman, but men like you, they're the ones that usually begging, kneeling on the floor, saying, "Please, please, 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 let me out."
All right. Let me push pause. Let me push pause real quick. Hold on. Wait. Time out. Yeah.
We're women. We know.
Time out. Wait. Damn it, I didn't mean to do that. Not that. What did I meant to do? That's what I meant to do right here. Let me just say this real quick. I don't think that what Game Changer is saying is cool. It's actually unpopular. It'll make him less popular with the women, and most dudes side eye what he's saying as well. Like this is putting him in a distinct minority category to where men and women disagree with him. So I don't think you can say that it's cool. I think he's standing on an island with this one, saying that a man should not care about whether or not a woman is pleased. But I'll let you go ahead and formally respond. Game Changer, go ahead. You got it. Game Changer.
No. I mean, no. That's you basically called it. It's not cool. Like it's basically the truth. Like I know you accuse me of. I mean, I don't get where you get this begging portion because, like, what am I begging for? It doesn't make sense
to have the opportunity to stick your, you know what you like to talk about,
yes.
And
No,
I
get requesting.
Unless you come correct.
No, it's too
especially with your attitude, you are not key.
No matter what, I'm gonna come correct. Yeah.
Honey, you will. The only vagina you'll be seeing with that attitude of yours is the one that you have to pay for.
No, I don't. Listen me. And so what if I did? Know this. I don't lead with that. I don't meet a woman and say, I don't give a shit about your pleasure. I don't lead with that.
You lie. You pretend as if you care.
No, I don't bring it up. I don't bring it up. I literally do not bring that up. That's not something that's brought up prior to sex. Now,
okay, then when you finish having sex and she's not satisfied, you don't care, you walk away. So basically, you're a one-hit wonder because nobody's going to come back if you don't do it well.
Oh, no, they come back.
No woman will.
That one woman came back for 11 years. What are you talking about?
No, she didn't say, listen, the woman that came back for 11 years was married to him. He was doing everything correct.
But I'm sure he did it before they married. I'm sure he did it before they married.
No, he thought he was pleasing her. So he didn't have your attitude. Your attitude is, I don't care whether I'm pleasing her.
No, I like the sound and stuff.
She has a clitoris. You don't care about her pleasure.
No. Listen to me. I like the sounds. I like the sounds and stuff. The point is that when I get complaints, I do not care. I don't care, and I rarely get complaints from. First of all, notice I rarely have one night stands because I don't like one night stands, but it's better than jacking off. But I don't like one night stands. I rarely have them. But when I do get complaints, it tend to come from like women with multiples. I did get a particular complaint that I remember.
What do you mean by what do you mean by women with multiples?
That I had sex with multiple times.
Ah, okay.
So the
ones that could be, hold on, wait, real quick. That could be that they assumed it was going to get better over time, and then over time they just see like, oh, he really don't give a damn. He just getting there, just bang away, bang, 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 pow, and then done, and on about his business. Maybe they thought over time that you would, it would get better.
Yeah, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of all the men in this chat and all the women in this chat know that if there's bad sex between a man and a woman, either way, so if the girl's not performing and the man's not performing up to what they like, usually the relationship suffers. Everybody knows that.
No, well, then that's more fault the woman. That means that she is trying to be a man and trying to be with a man at the same
No,
time.
she's trying to be a woman and she's trying
No,
to
she is
enjoy.
not trying to be a woman. When
God
have
knows.
natural women cared
Listen,
about
if
how good a
women were
penis
not
is?
supposed to
There
enjoy
is nothing.
sex,
There is nothing
they
in a
will not
woman's
have a
nature
clitoris.
that makes her that way.
If women
Civilization
were
was
not supposed
created.
to enjoy sex,
Hunter-gatherers have
they
been
will
around
not have nipples.
since the beginning of time. If you look at every species, like if you look at the lion, does it look like? Do you see like the female lioness all cavorting in pleasure and stuff like that? Like, ooh, he hitting it right. No,
Yeah,
she
but
just
we're
lays
not
there.
lions, though.
No. Same with horses.
No,
Same
we're
with
not lions,
gorillas,
though, and
same
we're
with
not
everything.
horses.
No.
We're
Sexual
people. We're
pleasure is
humans.
none of your
We're
business.
made
And that's the
we're
thing.
made
Your
differently
business,
from lions.
it's your duty to please. It's not your duty to be pleased.
Game changer, you need to go for a mind resection because honestly, you speak in such a way, and I know you believe it, but it's really showing some form of ignorance of how the world works.
What am I
Listen,
ignoring?
listen.
I'm ignoring the anatomy of your vagina. Listen.
Listen.
No. What am I ignorant of? Listen,
Okay,
I understand that there exist women who seek physical pleasure from sex. I'm saying that those women have their priorities out of whack and therefore aren't really decent women for me. You know? I feel like I got your brother when she complains.
They don't even want you because no woman.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Then don't pay me.
Selling to the chat.
Do you know how many?
Buy a doll and die
want?
alone.
Huh?
Is that what you're selling to the men in the chat? To go buy a doll and die alone?
Listen.
Women
There are.
Hey, Annette, hold on. Wait, time out. Annette, you could actually somebody can make that really pop off instead of get a dog down. Get a down. Hold on, wait. Hold on. That's Annette. You very rarely say something that I gotta acknowledge it as a good one. That's a good one. Get a doll and die alone.
Yeah. We'll get the dogs, and the men are gonna have to get the dolls.
Do y'all hear this?
No real woman is gonna stay with you. The kind of woman you get
get a doll
and die alone.
Listen to me good. This is what they try to do. This is the bitchcraft. They are trying to say stuff like, oh, if you do not focus on my pleasure and my pleasure solely, you are going to die alone. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I will die alone with my last dollar stuck to my masturbation hand before I give in to some shit like that. Before I spend my life worried about if I have to pleasure a chick. Y'all could be taking Theo's class. No, y'all could be taking Theo's class as opposed to trying to please that ass. Fuck that. Okay,
guys,
better yourself.
Let me ask you this, Annette. Let me ask you this. I want to. Okay,
he wants you to have it. He wants you to get married to your hand. He wants you to.
Hold on.
He wants you to have a relationship with your hand.
Time out. Let me steer it this way. Aside from the get a doll and die alone, or you could be taking Theo's class. You could be taking Theo's IT class instead of worrying about pleasing her ass. All of that is funny. That's good stuff. Good stuff. But I do want to ask Annette this question. Don't you agree? Mm-hmm. Don't you agree that if a man is doing everything else right, he's protecting, he's providing, he's industrious, he's hitting on all cylinders in every other area of manhood, and a woman is married to that man, if the sex is not good, she should be let's just say if it's not as good as she would like. Okay, it's doing a little something, just a little something, but he ain't just giving her an out of body experience, in the bedroom. But he's doing everything else that a man is supposed to be doing. He's providing, the kids good, everybody taken care of. Shouldn't she put a higher premium on that than whether or not he's mandingo in the bedroom? Shouldn't a woman, if she want best results for her lineage, legacy, family, and all of that, isn't all that stuff more important on whether or not He's
But that's why she was
whether or not
with
he's
him
king
for
dingling.
11 years before she said anything.
I'm not. Hold on, wait, no, I'm not talking about her right now. I'm talking about in general. Shouldn't a woman operate in that sense?
In general, you can't expect 100% perfect sex from anyone, right? All the time.
Shouldn't she put a higher premium? Shouldn't she? Hold on, wait. Shouldn't she put a higher premium on the other stuff?
I think the other stuff is more important to people who are looking for marriage, family, and all that kind of stuff. The other, because I mean, I'm not gonna say, well, no, let me just keep quiet. But anyway, let's just say, yeah, if a man is doing everything, right, the other stuff, you can teach him what to do that will make you happy. And it's not even about having a big D.
Oh, of course. I get
Because
that.
people always think, yeah, man, no, he doesn't have to have a big D. He doesn't even need to be somebody who can go for 5 hours. But what I'm pushing back against, is not that men have to give you great sex.
Did you just say 5 hours? Your vagina is numb. You said
Men
5
can
hours?
go all night. Game changer. All right.
That is no.
All night. Yes.
Hey,
no, it don't take me all night. You see how much time they want to waste of yours? That is ridiculous.
No, they're not wasting time. The men actually carry on for hours.
Spanish. That is
most women can't go for 5 hours. Most women, listen. If you like, I'm not trying to humble brag on myself, but if you're a guy who can last, you find out that some women they can't go as long as they say they can. Put it like that. A lot of them can't go as long as they say they can. I just throw that out there.
If you're fit and you pace yourself, it can go on all night. But
no,
anyway,
I'm saying the vagina is an open system, and it only could take so much bumping and knocking down there. It ain't just this indestructible organ. It taps out too. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not.
All right, don't say that. Hold on, real quick, Java. Hold on, real quick. Just hold your thought on that. Java Joe in the building says sexual compatibility is definitely a real thing. Size being too large, too small, or a woman being too tight or too loose will affect the experience. Absolutely, and it's a lot of other variables in there with that compatibility as well. But thank you for the super chat, do appreciate that. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the stream. All right, go ahead. Annette,
so the real pushback is what Game Changer is saying, that he doesn't care. Now, going back to the main story, story that you were talking about, could it be, because when I looked at that video, it looks as if they're trying to give some sort of sex education to people. So maybe they decide to talk about it openly. They both consented and want to talk about it openly. It might not just be like she just threw it at him. He seemed very happy to talk about it as well.
Yeah, I know. I agree, but that's just part of just the overall emasculation. Like something like that, a dude shouldn't be open to talk about that. But I think men have been society has changed and or browbeaten men, or just have effeminized men to the point to where they're okay with their woman saying that. So he was okay to agreeing to sit down there and look goofy. Like I did a stream a while back about a guy who like his wife cheated on him, and she I guess she's on TikTok or some social media. I forgot where she has a social media stronghold somewhere, and she wanted to make content about it, and he agreed to just sit there like the cheated on, like how it is when a celebrity cheat on his wife and he get perp walked through the media,
like
and he
Will
got
and Jada, really.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He sat there like on some Will Smith entanglement stuff and participated and was happy and with a smile, and we just worked through it and we grew through it and blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh my goodness, you freaking pansy. But that's so either way I go, I'm saying men have been pansified to the point to where they're okay with it. So I don't think you can make the argument, well, he was okay with it. Yeah, that's part of the problem, that he's okay with it.
But she didn't say he was bad in bed, though. I didn't watch the whole video, but I didn't hear her say anything about his. Did she say about his thing as well?
No, she didn't say it was. She didn't say it was small. She just said she just wasn't enjoying the sex. She said she was faking it, and she said she cared more about his pleasure because he was doing everything right as a man. So she basically said when it came to sex, she wasn't enjoying it, but she just put on a show for him. She was his first. So
Sorry,
Okay.
Charles Metin said the heaviest woman in human history demanding all night session. I'm not the heaviest woman in human
She
history.
is not the heaviest woman in all of human
He
history. I
just
mean,
wants to have a go.
he wants to. You saying he wants to have a go at you?
No, have a go means he wants to joke at me, like have a go.
Oh,
Not
okay.
that's how I say it in English.
Okay.
He just wants
Yeah.
to poke at me. Yeah. So that sounds even worse.
Whenever you say something where I think that you mean something, because there's a cultural difference on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. When you say somebody,
that even sounds worse.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Annette, you just you look confident over there. Okay, I see you.
But what I heard her say was he didn't understand her body, and she didn't understand her own body.
Well, yeah, that was a part. Hold on, wait, that was part of it, because she said she was a virgin, he was her first, so she didn't understand her body and what pleased her. So basically, she just faked it, basically, and but she wasn't pleased, she wasn't enjoying it. But for 11 years, she just faked it. So her basically saying she'd been faking it for 11 years, that's basically saying it's been bad for 11 years. So it was bad. Like we can't dance around that part of it. We can't dance around that part of it. He faked it. she basically,
it wasn't as good as she wanted or as it is now. But I don't think it meant it was bad, because if it was bad, she won't be with him for 11 years and have 4 children.
No, see that now. That's where Game Changers argument comes in. She thought about what was most important, and his pleasure was more important because he was the one that was providing and doing everything that needed to be done, and she accepted that, and she loved him for that. And so when it came to sex, she just put on a performance for him, even though she wasn't enjoying it. She performed so well to where he thought he was King Dingaling all this time.
But that's what we're trained.
So I give her a slow clap for that one. I give her a slow standing ovation for that one. Good job.
And a lot of women.
Well, you're trained in how to do it effectively, granted. However, you're not taught to do it. It's your nature to do it. You know, nobody.
When we are young.
Yes. No. But
what? Tell me how I was raised.
No. Yes, I can. Listen. Nobody set you down. Nobody set you down. You know. Yeah, because you was raised directly by Eve. But no, nobody set you down.
Oh. Game changer. Come on.
You know I love you.
Loves it.
But no, nobody set you down.
Yeah, I was raised directly by Eve, near where the eagle human-eating people were. Okay, so
then good throwback to one of the previous shows. Most people didn't get that one.
Women in general, until recently, were really trained to just be quiet. You know, just do what your husband wants, and you're right to a certain extent, Game Changer.
So they were trained to be good women. Okay, continue.
To be quiet, and it was not liking sex was seen as if you're promiscuous, or you telling your husband what you like is like, oh my God, where did you learn that? What kind of woman are you? So a lot of women were quiet for a very, very long time, right? But recently, with feminism and the empowerment and all the equality that's coming now, women are beginning to realize, okay, it's okay to actually like sex. It doesn't mean that
you're brainwashed. You're brainwashed.
No, we're not brainwashed.
Yeah, that is brainwashing. That is brainwashing.
Yeah,
whenever somebody comes with something new that goes against your base nature, that is brainwashing. You are part of a cult.
It's not against the
trying to get the BBC while watching BBC. That is what's going on there in the
Bible.
All right, let her go ahead. Go.
Bible, Game Changer. Songs of Solomon. Go and read Songs of Solomon.
Hold on, wait.
Songs of Solomon.
What in the Bible? Because in the Bible, they were women weren't exactly.
No. In the Bible, in the book called Songs of Solomon, you will see right there where the writer is writing on how the man should please the woman and how the woman should please the man.
Woman's orgasm in the Bible.
How the man should eat from her garden.
You're
Right?
telling
What
me
do you
that
think that
in
meant?
the Bible,
It's in
it
the
tells you.
Bible.
Wait, listen to me.
It's in the
You
Bible.
telling me
You
that
cherry
in the
picking.
Bible it says that a man should fuck a woman for 5 hours. You're
God
telling me that the
wants
Bible tells
the
men to
man
fuck women for
and
5
the
hours.
woman to
It
have
actually
sex.
tells men to please women sexually.
If she was not supposed to enjoy it, he won't create a clitoris. Jesus.
I can generally.
He didn't create the clitoris just to be cut off and ignored.
Go ahead, GC.
Then
I
for a
don't
reason.
disagree
He
with
created
her.
a lot
I
of
don't
things that
disagree.
don't make sense.
Okay, well let me say this, Annette, you are cherry picking the Bible. Let's just make that very clear. That
I'm being fair. I'm
women,
saying it's both ways.
women's feelings, concerns, and cares are not that aren't put in the
But in the
forefront
Bible,
in
it
the
says
Bible.
that.
So, but overall, it is a brute fact of nature that the female sexual organ, yeah, they do get pleasure out of it. That would be, I mean, even if you take God out of it, it would be it's a Darwinian survival advantage of the species for both sexes to get horny and want to have sex with each other and get that itch scratch for pleasure purposes. That motivates that motivates both parties to continue to want to have sex and propagate their DNA. So they are hardwired to gain pleasure from sex. That part I can't argue with. So I mean,
So in game
whether or not
changer
God did it or
bedroom,
evolution did it, they are hardwired to gain pleasure from sex.
so in game changer's bedroom, basically, you just climb on the woman or do whatever you want to do, and you don't touch her clitoris. You don't even make sure that she's satisfied in any way. Is that what you're saying?
No, sometimes I touch it. Can you hear me? I say sometimes I touch it.
I get the feeling her clitoris. I get the feeling you just into you don't really touch it, caress it, lick it. You just like smack it every now and then. Like you just do that. You seem like the smack them on the clitoris type.
Bernard don't believe game changer. He's lying. I'm sure he'd be doing too much in the bedroom to make sure she's happy.
I stimulate the clitoris. Listen, I don't do it. I'm not trying to get an A or anything like that. I do it because it's part of the rush of the sexual experience. I don't avoid it. I don't, I mean, it doesn't take any energy or thought to rub a clitoris or anything like that. So I do it. But am I trying to spend 5 hours huffing and puffing, trying to figure out the Rubik's Cube that's between her legs? Fuck that. No. It's listen, I give reasonable effort. I give reasonable effort. If it's not enough, then fuck it.
Okay, but at least you give some effort. So now we're agreed. Now we're back.
Well, you got no choice but to give effort.
As a person,
you made it sound like he doesn't
that's trying to make it deliberately displeasurable. That's not about that. It's not about
made
that.
It sound like
However,
you don't
am I
care
worried
at all.
about like, I hope that.
Yeah, you're borging a little bit, GC.
Okay,
I'm happy now.
No, when's the last time you did a 5-hour stream?
GC, you bargained for a little bit, so I'm gonna read this super chat. Stronger Cipher in the building says, I have always been told things were good in that department. However, I have always asked any female I was with, what can I do to make the enjoyment even better? I don't know about asking that question. That sounds kind of, I don't know. Anyway, my philosophy, my method is read her body language and her reaction to you when you figure out what you like and what you don't like. But I normally don't ask. I kind of figure out, just you can. It's a touch and go figure it out type of thing. But so game changer, you on your own. Like I said before, I respect what game changer is talking about, because like somebody, I think it was Ed that said, other races of men, and I don't know how accurate he is with this, but he said other races of men are more concerned with are not as concerned about how good they are in bed, rather than not they pleasing her. They're more concerned about whether they're doing the other stuff a man is supposed to be doing, and they're more focused on that. But black men are the only men who feel like we gotta be King Dingaling, Superman in the bedroom, and are not as focused on the other stuff. I think it's some truth to that, and that sort of puts men in the position where we become the female in the relationship, that we're trying to be the sexually arousing, turning her on, got on silk boxers, like got on silk boxers, dancing at the foot of the bed and shit. Like that's the woman's job. That's the woman's job. So from that perspective, I can rock what Game Changer is saying, that that's her department to be the sexy one. That's not necessarily our department, but I just can't just sit there and not, I care about my performance though too. That just is what it is.
Well, if a man wears silk shorts and start dancing like a fool in the bedroom, that would put me off anyway. Because that's not what I mean by being pleasing a woman. That's all goofy stuff. Pleasing a woman
what do you consider pleasing? 5 hours?
No, when I was younger, not now. I'm too old for that now. But
you wasn't going for 5 hours.
You missed your opportunity to clap back at me.
No, well, I mean, I was gonna say that's why guys go for the 18-year-olds, but
the 5 hours thing.
No, go for it.
Good. Hey, I love how y'all keep throwing back to the previous conversation. Y'all still trying to secure the win that y'all had in a previous argument. But that is a good point. We did have a discussion about men liking younger ladies, and here you are, Annette. You're saying, "Oh, back when I was younger, I used to, you don't talk about all your sexual. Hold on. Don't talk about all your sexual prowess back when you was younger." In this conversation, whereas in a previous conversation, you was trying to say that men shouldn't be into younger women, but here you are bragging about your sexual prowess when you was younger. Because men want those women with all the sexual prowess and doing monkey double backflips and stuff.
When I say
more seasoned women can't quite do monkey double backflips the same way.
But yeah, so I've forgotten the question.
Monkey double backflip, land on the back of your neck, and it ain't.
I've forgotten what I was going to say to Game Changer.
You were going to tell him that he's right. You were going to tell him that he's right.
I was going to apologize for everything. I'm right. Yeah.
Okay,
what does it look like to please a man? To please a woman? What does pleasing a woman look like? That was the question.
No, what was pleasing you? What does pleasing you look like?
Well, I've done a whole video about this on my channel, but basically,
is it on Pornhub? What do you mean you've done a whole video about it?
I've done a whole video about it because men don't know. Some men don't really know how to make a woman happy. Now, making a woman happy is not really about pumping non-stop, because sometimes that's not even fun. Like Bernard has said, Bernard got it right. You've got to look at the woman. You've got to be seeing what feedback you're actually getting. Because some men, I'm going to blow your back out. No, some women don't want their backs to be blown out. They want something a little bit gentle. So it's on an individual basis, but just take the time to ask the woman what she likes. Because what one woman likes today, another woman might not like it. Because women like different things. We're very.
Y'all hear this? Do y'all really want to waste? Do y'all really care? Do y'all really care? I mean, are you a waiter? Are you a person that walks up with a tuxedo and say, "So, what would you like for this evening?" And then they go into an elaborate description of what you need to do for the next 5 hours, or do you just want to get some pussy? Like,
she agreed. She said yes. She wants you to come up like a waiter and say, "What would you like for this evening?" And she wants you shirtless in a bow tie and some silk boxers and ready to dance if need be. Yes.
I'll tell you a story about my friend. My friend who's a lady. Okay. So let me tell you, my friend was married for, let's say, 15 years, and she had sex, and like this man's wife, she didn't know what she liked. She didn't know anything, right? But she stayed in the marriage and there was no problem. But eventually, for 15 years, and then she got divorced. Okay. So now when she got divorced, she met another guy. And the first time she had sex with the guy, she pulled out the KY jelly and said, "Oh, and he's like, "What's that for?" And she went, "The KY jelly for the sex, right?" And he's like, "What do you need that KY jelly for?" And she's like, "Well, everybody uses KY jelly for sex, don't they?" And he's like, "No, they don't." So for the first time, she learned that actually what she had been doing for 15 years was not how the body works. It took another man to teach her that actually you don't need KY jelly if you're touched the correct way.
And that how long were you married?
I'm talking about my friend, right?
If you just would have said 15 years out of
my friend, it was 15 years. I was married for 22.
Okay.
Not lady was married for 15 years.
All right.
Okay?
So everybody, hold on, everybody. She's not
talking
talking about
friend.
she's not talking about herself. So go ahead and tell this story about not yourself. Go ahead.
Not myself. Let's make that very, very absolutely crystal clear. This is a friend I'm talking about. So anyway, so it took this other guy to teach her like how it works down there, because she didn't even know herself. Do you understand? So it was after this guy.
Did she divorce? Did she divorce
friend.
I know. I'm asking about your friend. Did your friend divorce the first guy because the sex was bad?
No. They just divorced for other reasons.
Okay, now listen to this. And now this is I know Game Changer you're gonna like. Hold on, I know Game Changer you're gonna like this. And I've heard a lot of I've actually heard a lot of women say this, that if you're a virgin and you get married and that sex is bad, but that's the only sex you ever had, you won't know what you're missing and you'll just stay committed and faithful into that one person that you're with, and that's best for the family and everybody else if everybody don't have a bunch of sex partners and learning all that stuff.
She did. But he liked women, so she always had a problem with him, like other women and other babies came into the marriage and she just had enough. So that's why they split up in the end. But the next guy that she was with then showed her that actually you don't need KY jelly. And I'll tell you something, most women in Nigeria actually think you need KY jelly. That's the way we,
because Nigerian men don't care. They on caveman style. They drag you into the hut, bend you over a rock, and go to work.
You're not supposed to. If you even talk about sex, it's almost like, oh, there's something wrong with you. You're a prostitute, or blah blah blah. It's frowned on. Even the church. It's only in the last 10 years that people have become more open about talking about these things.
And how has that gone? How has that gone for society?
Well, people are.
How has that gone for modern relationships?
I think for the relationships where you're open,
we can agree. We can agree that what you said is bunk. That women were not teaching young girls, not to or to fake it in bedroom. They weren't teaching them anything in that regard. They were
teaching them
following
to
their
do
nature.
what the husband wants, but a lot of
their nature is to please my penis.
You
just said that they're not teaching them sexual tactics.
You
just said that they're not teaching them sexual tactics. Therefore, they were falling into their base nature.
They were suffering in silence. They were suffering in silence.
Huh?
I don't want women to suffer in silence anymore. Because there's more to life than just being sad all the time.
This is what they demand. If you give her 4.5 hours of dick, she feels like she's suffering in silence.
Hold on, wait, go get GC. GC, start over, GC. Hold on, start over. You was kind of, I couldn't understand what you were saying. Go ahead, start over. What you say? GC. Game changer.
Saying that if you give her 4.5 hours of sex, she's suffering in silence. They are everything outside of catering to their every need is considered suffering, according to women like this. They classify it as suffering, and they classify it as a justification for. No, it is not. Bad dick is not suffering. Bad food is suffering. Bad air is suffering. Bad water is suffering. Okay, bad dick is not suffering. Dick is a luxury. Dick is a luxury. It is a privilege. It is not a right. Good penis is a privilege, not a right. Therefore, you don't have the right to get dick. It's a privilege. And being absent of a privilege is not suffering. Okay, there are people who are absent food. They're suffering. Don't give me this. Oh, they're suffering because they get bad dick from men who provide and protect them. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
no,
whatever.
No, that's not suffering. You make it seem like you some type of
the fuck out of here.
Like
Okay.
some type of skeleton woman, Confederate soldier, or some crap like that, because you don't get good penis. Walking around crying like you one of those
Game
teary-eyed Indians or
changer.
some shit like that because the dick is bad. No, you put too high a premium. How privileged are you to where you are crying about bad dick? There are real problems in the world.
Game changer.
And y'all
If
see
you
this?
don't have an orgasm
No matter
for 1
what
week,
you do, for
you're
some
gonna
women,
start
it is
bumping
not
into
enough.
chairs
We're
and tables.
suffering.
You don't
We're
get an orgasm
suffering.
for 1
No.
month,
Why
your
yet?
head would
I'm suffering
explode.
because
I
I'm
don't
suffering.
expect a woman not to have an orgasm for 11 years. Your head would explode
I do
if
not
you don't
care.
get an orgasm for 1 week.
That's
But
because I'm a
yet
man.
you want to punish a woman for 11 years
I don't want to punish
not
her.
to have an orgasm?
She,
Get out of
they
here.
feel that moderate dick is a punishment. They feel that moderate dick is a punishment. Y'all see the
Get out of
mentality?
here
This is why you
too.
don't care. See, this is what happens when you care. They try to leverage that shit out of you. They try to say, oh, we're suffering. We need better dick. And they play on your fucking psyche until you that nigga DJ Kid. Until you him. They play on your psyche until you feel inadequate and that you are tormenting and torturing her. They try to make you feel like you fucking torturing them because you not huffing and puffing 5 hours because you got to get up and go to work the next morning. You see this bullshit?
It could be the weekend, and you might
give
not
them
have
an
work
inch, they
the
take your
next
whole
day.
dick. That is what they are trying to do. They are trying to take your whole dick. They are going to keep raising the bar of what is making me satisfied until you have nothing left to give. This is a method of control. Everything you say is not. Everything you say or do is not good enough. That is what the plan is. Well, guess what? I give you what I give you, and if it's not good enough, then deal with it. You must learn to please yourself through my pleasure, or else it is a futile endeavor. And if you can't find the pleasure from my penis, then that's your broken vagina. That's not my penis.
The reason he screams so much is because he doesn't get enough action. You see, when you have action,
exactly,
all the time, you're gonna be like Bernard Riley.
Exactly, I don't give enough.
Bernard is. You see how relaxed Bernard is? Like he talks really calmly.
Okay, don't try to weaponize me against Game Changer.
That's how a man that's getting it looks. When you're screaming and shouting like this, is because you don't get it.
Okay, fine.
And I mean,
so what if I don't?
So get a dog.
Listen. So what if I don't? It doesn't mean that what I say isn't true. She is attempting to manipulate men through their penis. And let's not forget that just the other day she was talking about how unimportant it was. So it's a whole hypocrisy.
I just said that you're gonna stay with the guy
it's not
anyway.
important as long as a man provide and blah 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 blah. I'm English, blah 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 blah. I'm Nigerian, blah 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 blah. That was you. You were saying that it's not important, and now you're saying it is.
It's not the most important thing, but you can't do without sex or an orgasm for 11 years or for the next 40 years as a woman.
Can.
You can't. Come on, Game Changer. Even you know you're lying, but you're just getting a
All right. We gotta let that wrap it up because I do gotta get out of here. But this was definitely good. This was like a early teaser trailer of the Friday show where I got the men and the women on here and be some spirited debate back and forth. But before we get out of here, F Holiday in the building says, "God bless the man that can smell 5 hours of Lizzo splack juice." Wow. Hashtag funky fupa magic. Wow, that's interesting. Bad. That's interesting. All right, cool. All right, listen, everybody. Shout out to Theo in the building. Theo, I don't know if you was watching earlier. I just saw you in here. I don't know if you was watching earlier. Yeah, a couple of your students was on the panel. We was definitely shouting out the course and shouting out the Mumia Obsidian Ali experience that's going down in June. I will be there. In Philly. I'll be speaking at the event. So this is where you can go and check out the tickets, and you can buy the tickets for it on this right there where I just dropped a link in the chat room. That's where you can find the tickets. So make sure y'all go and check that out. And before we roll up out of here, I do got to go ahead and play the ad for it. But thank you for everybody for being in the building today. Everybody who liked, shared, subscribed, super chatted, and cash apped, anything you did to support the stream. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Game Changer Internet, for giving us another classic, a classic showdown. And with that said, we are out of here. Peace.